Well, none of them can hide from the truth, yeah. Children have to go back to the roots, yeah. None of them can hide from the truth, yeah. Children have to go back to the roots. I'm telling you now, the truth, the truth. Telling you, yeah, the truth, the truth. You have to go back to the roots, the roots. Go to the roots, to the roots. Yeah, man, you know, this is Benjamin out of the Smiling Coast, West Africa, Gambia, representing for the one and only Abu, the big man you don't know, the Soninke warrior, the man that brings the truth, Soninke warrior, the sign of enlightenment, the Soninke warrior, the righteous and the true African. Abu, reveal the truth to them, you know, no matter how them try to run from it, because none of them can hide from the truth, yeah. Yes, we have to dig back the roots, yeah. Fire!
Subscribe now.
I remember the days, all those years ago that never fade away. And I remember your face when you hit the ground. I can recall the time and place. On a midnight walk through the old streets, trying to turn back the clock to the days of old, back to the days when all the things we knew were made of gold. As the world moves on, time sings a song. In the old neighborhood, as the clock strikes.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Afridamus Report. I'm your host, Afridamus. I want to welcome all of you to another edition of Negrology 101. And this is coming all the way from the Negro Factory. It doesn't get any more Negro than the place that I'm about to report on. That's right. You're seeing the topic properly. It says CoonQuarterNEWS, because you see many people like to use that term, but they really do not use it in the right way. But ladies and gentlemen, please make sure you hit the like if you haven't already done so, and also subscribe if you are new here. So ladies and gentlemen, where are we on the coup in French West Africa? Because that's what I am going to call it. Niger. Because you see the situation in Niger, this is not just any ordinary coup. Because the French, this is a fight from 1884. That's right, at the Berlin Conference, when the Europeans came together and decided that, look, we need raw materials and we are going to divide this piece of land amongst ourselves. And this is what they did. Do you think these Europeans paid for it? No, they did not. So today, when these same Europeans are saying that they are giving us Africans aid, it is not aid. These people have been exploiting and stealing from us. And I'm sure some will come here and say, but it is not us ordinary people, but you are benefiting. Because as your government is sucking out of the poor people of Africa, even though you have been in denial about it. Finally, the war of 1884 is come to a head, toe to toe. Back then, we didn't have internet where people communicate with one another. So all these French countries that you see in West Africa, even though France claims they gave them their independence, I call it paper and flag independence. Because you see, the French, they did not completely leave. They control the economy of these countries. They don't have their own central bank. France decided for them what currency to use, and they tax them every year on top of that. So lately, we've been seeing the coups that's been taking place, and all of them are in the regions where the French are. So they got kicked out of Mali, kicked out of Burkina Faso. Now Niger is their last holding spot. So let us put it this way, ladies and gentlemen. So Niger, let me paint a picture, is like white colonialists, which is the French, who have colonized these people. Because let me tell you, Niger, in English, they call it Niger instead of Nigeria. It's like the same country. So Nigeria is full niggers, and these other ones are half niggers, but it's the same country. So they decided that, okay, we are going to carve this country into half, and the French can take this part and the British can take this other part called Nigeria. So up till 1960, they said, we are giving you independence, but it is not independence. You know, the British West Africa countries, Nigeria, Ghana, Sierra Leone, Gambia, these countries, you know, quote unquote, they have more freedom and independence than these French speaking countries, because at least these countries have English speakers, have their central government. But what did the French, in all the French former colonies, quote unquote, there has been coups in all of them. And ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something. The French are guilty of committing atrocities and crimes against Africans in those regions. They have killed many, many Africans who stood up against them to try to expel the French out of their territory. This is what these coups have been about. Yes, I'm sure there might be some personal grievances, but what all these countries, Burkina Faso, Mali, Niger, Guinea, what do all these places have in common? French is the problem. Guys, you know, in South Africa, during the apartheid regime, when the white man ruled over the blacks over there, it was very clear to all of us blacks that the white man was the enemy. It was very clear. So in West Africa today, let me tell you, the French are the enemies. The people of Niger have done what they're supposed to do. They freed themselves from their colonial masters. But now, who is trying to help France to come back and step its foot on the necks of the blacks next door? You won't believe this. Nigeria have a new president called Bola Tinubu, probably related to Madame Tinubu. You know, Madame Tinubu was a popular slave trader, Madame, back in those days. You guys remember when I keep telling you, the same slave traders, many of them, they are still in charge. Their children are the ones in charge. They have the DNA of sellouts. How do you think Africa, this whole time we've been losing? We have been dragging, even though we have resources. Do you guys know what happened to Africa? So Africa, look at it this way. It is a football team. So imagine your football team, you know, the team that you are competing against, your coach is selected by that team. The other team you're supposed to play against and beat. They selected your coach for you. They selected your captain for you. In fact, they are players, your players, that are supposed to play against the other team. That other team selected your players for you. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what has been happening to Africa this entire time. Many of the leaders that stood up, they have been silenced. They have been silenced. And majority, this whole time, guess what? The French are behind it. You know, when you guys see the Eiffel Tower, you know, these French people, when they like to talk to Vavazaleshi, you look at You think these are gentle people. No, these people are murderers. Yes, I'm the one saying it here. These people are exploiting African countries, the French West Africa. Ladies and gentlemen, Niger is a victim of French exploitation. Now they freed themselves. The people are celebrating it. Nigeria, being the most populous country in West Africa, and they said ECOWAS. Nigeria's president Bola Tinubu is hell-bent on going to war against Niger. He said that he must go to war. ECOWAS leaders, they joined in. They said they must go to war against a fellow black nation. Mind you, this black nation, think about it. You are in the plantation. You are in the plantation. You just defeated the slave master. And then you got another plantation, former plantation. Now they are free. So this plantation is supposed to celebrate it and be like giving you all the secrets to help stand with you. But instead, the leader of that plantation is coming out talking about, we's gonna fight you for massa. This is what Nigerian leader Bola Tinubu is doing. Bola Tinubu is a complete sellout. Ladies and gentlemen, all the confusion we've been in, we've been trying to figure out what is wrong, what is going on in West Africa. The Nigeria of yesterday is not the same Nigeria today. Bola Tinubu is not elected, he is selected. Bola Tinubu and ECOWAS, whose idea, whose interests are they promoting? This is my question. Because if the people of Niger no longer want the president that they removed, who is a French puppet, by the way, there is no confusion anymore. This man was snitching. He sold out his people. He sold them out to the French. So the people say they don't want that person back. But ECOWAS and Bola Tinubu, they are insisting. In fact, now it's seeming the way the president of Nigeria is behaving. He is behaving like this is a personal problem, as if Niger came and took a property from Nigeria. Can you imagine? Nigeria helped South Africa, Black South Africa, against the white oppressors. They've helped other African countries. This is the Nigeria of yesterday. So in Niger, it's no different. Burkina Faso is no different. But I am glad what is happening in that region. Let me show you the map of Niger, the map of West Africa itself. Because you see, Senegal said they are going to provide military for quote unquote ECOWAS and ECOWAS and AU. So those of you that like to mention ECOWAS and AU, ladies and gentlemen, I hate to break it to you, those are not African organizations. As you can see, Bola Tinubu, Nigeria's president, he is speaking in the tongue of France. Because if he is fighting to bring France back, to push French interests in that country, then it is a problem. But the Nigerian senators are against this. Shout out to the Nigerian people who also oppose this. Nigeria cannot fight this war. They cannot. Let me give you my analysis. Let me show you the map here. If they decide to go to war, all these countries, Senegal said they're going to send somebody there. Even my country, Gambia, I am not surprised because I hate to tell you, many Gambians are sellouts. They are mentally sellouts. That's right. Because many Gambians are mentally colonized, not only by the white people, but by the Arabs too. So they see white people as the savior. So our quote unquote president, who probably have never witnessed a chicken being slaughtered, he also said to these Gambians, they said they're gonna provide troops. Okay, great. So you mean to tell me the same people who would not fight when ECOWAS was coming into that country, they're gonna go into Niger and fight there? Senegal also said they are going to provide troops. Ivory Coast, they said they're going to provide troops. So let me show you, if this war was to take place, let me give you the analysis of the possibilities, to show you that ECOWAS and France, they cannot win this war. They have lost this war before the war started. The United States have drone base there. As you know, the United States have not declared this coup a coup, because if they do, that would mean they have to be forced to put sanction on them. You see what's going on here? So the French, the same playbook that they've used for years, is failing here, because they used the same playbook in Libya, backed by NATO and the United States. What did they do? They came to the African Union, the French puppet organization that they use to say is representing Africa, but it doesn't speak for the population of Africa, but it is speaking for France and EU. So when they could not, go through land, what did they do? They came through the Mediterranean and bombing Libya. That became the base. But now in Niger is a landlocked country. And they have allies. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Give me a second. So here is the map. So, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, this is Niger right here. You see Niger right here? And you have the next closest country to it is Mali. And guess what Mali said? Mali said any intervention, any step that ECOWAS takes, they would see it as a war against them. So obviously, the Malian territory here is a no-go, right? You got Burkina Faso right here. Burkina Faso also is supporting Niger. Okay? You have Guinea right here. So the only other, so you have two countries now. You got Cote d'Ivoire, which is Ivory Coast, which is a French sellout. They have a president, Alassane Ouattara, who's a sellout. You have Ghana. Ghana also have a president who is a sellout, right? Benin is not gonna go. So the next best option is Nigeria. Nigeria shares vast border with Niger. So right here on this border, Niger is safe because Burkina Faso can take care of Ghana and Cote d'Ivoire at the same time. I got my money on Burkina Faso on this one. So Burkina Faso on this front and Mali right here, this offense, Mali can launch offenses from this area and Guinea can launch the same offense. Senegal right here is not going to move at all. You have this other quarter of Mali that would control Senegal. And of course, if Senegal can move, Gambia is a tiny little country. So all these places are shut down. So the only place that is left is Nigeria. So this landmass here is clear because Benin is not going to go. Ghana is just talking. Ghana is not going to, the Ghanaians are not going to put their lives on the line, for this fight. So you have Senegal and Gambia, those guys are like puppets, I mean, you don't have to worry about those people. So they have a problem. But the French, if the French decide they want to go in themselves, they cannot fly all the way from Europe, or their closest base Cameroon, that's still far. I don't, so it's really going to be hard for them to fight this war because the Atlantic is way up here. They cannot bomb them from there. So it is a ground war. Nigeria is huge, but Nigeria is vulnerable. If Nigeria tries to fight a war up here, you already have Boko Haram, you have the Biafra, people, and there is many internal issues in Nigeria. You have economic problems. Nigeria these days, they cannot do anything properly. They have incompetent president. So obviously, this right here, it is a problem because Niger is a huge land. On the north here, they have the desert, and when you go past the desert, you have Algeria that shares a border with Niger, and Algeria is in support of Niger. Do you guys see the problem that Nigeria itself is going to face? So let me play the latest uninspired speech that Bola Tinubu, the president of Nigeria, gave. So I just want you guys to see how ECOWAS is not representing African interests. ECOWAS is openly representing the French. They are promoting the French colonialists. You guys see, this whole time we thought it was the white people who are dominating Africa. No. They have puppets in place. The president they've just removed is a puppet. And in Ivory Coast, they have Alassane Ouattara, the president of Ivory Coast, who is a French puppet. He's talking about they are going to go to war. First of all, he has to go past Burkina Faso. He has to. Can Ivory Coast military take on, Burkina military? They cannot, because how do I know this? It's already happened. It took the Burkinabés 24 hours to march all the way to their capital. It didn't take their army that long to dominate them. You must know these countries have been fighting for years in the Sahel. So they are already ready to go. You got those Senegalese military and those Gambians. You think those people can come and, fight? They're not going to fight. And these Europeans and Americans, let me tell you, I've been telling you guys, they are trying to fight the next war that they call World War III in West Africa. This is what they are planning. And Nigeria, I don't know where they got this Tinubu guy from, but he is being used to push for war in West Africa. Nigeria, he's turned Nigeria into a big disgrace. A big disgrace. Because the most populous, I don't know if he's been pushed to bring this war so that there can be more division in Nigeria. I think that's what they are pushing for. But shout out to the Nigerian Senate. They did not allow this war to take place. They voted against it, and there are many Nigerians who are also against this. They said, before you focus on what is happening in Niger, why don't you take care of what is happening here at home? So Tinubu doesn't know what his job is. Let me show you his speech. But before I do that, let me introduce his music properly. The president of ECOWAS and Nigeria. But let me introduce him before I bring him in.
I can do some shuffling too. Look out, man, what you gonna do? Look out, boys, it's coming through. Yeah, man, yeah, man. Boy, he got educated feet. Boy, I practice all the time. Here's one I sat up all night trying to do. Get this. When the boat dock at Memphis, you should get yourself a job in one of them Beale Street cafes.
To a close, the authority will continue its deliberations in a closed-door format. The formula is 1+3, in addition to the excellencies, the invited guests of the chair of the authority. Without further ado, therefore, it is my pleasure and honor to give the floor to His Excellency, the chair of the authority. Thank you.
Your Excellencies, Head of State and Government, Your Excellencies, President, Leader and former President, General Abdul Salam Abubakar, my friend, my brother,
Do you guys see how did a Nigerian president become a French puppet? So listen, this is the president, quote unquote, of Nigeria and ECOWAS. Have you guys noticed lately what has been happening with these elections? Even in the United States, the election, they made it wait for two months. 2 months. In Nigeria, the same thing. So it's the same people that are running this. So I'll tell you right now, this one, we cannot put it on the Nigerian people. You must know this, because the majority of Nigerians are against Tinubu, because he doesn't represent the interests of Nigeria. Let's hear him out.
And His Eminence, the Sultan of Sokoto. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, you are very much welcome to this second extraordinary summit on the social political situation in the Republic of Niger. I don't need to go back to the history and discussions.
Do you guys hear this? So Tinubu is saying he doesn't need to go back to the history of this. So he's reading a paper. A paper, we know this is given to him by the French, because there is no reason for Nigerian president to want to force an African country that there is no doubt they are being exploited openly. We are all seeing it. 1 in 3 bulbs is lit up by the uranium from Niger in France. They mine gold from there. So if ECOWAS is about, helping Africans improve economically, why is Nigerian president supporting the agenda of a foreign force that is been exploiting, Africans that he considers brother next door? This is very weird. American First Rifleman, thank you for the super chat. He said, best Nigerian coon dancer, Tinubu. Did Nigerian people must continue to put pressure on that corrupt? Well, I hope so. But all these people that are upset, like Ouattara, Macky Sall of Senegal, probably even our president in Gambia, most, Mbalo, all these people are representing themselves. I don't know. They are representing the interests of the French. Most of these quote unquote people were calling as our presidents. They are employees of the French. You must know this. Because why else? Why else are these people fighting so hard? I mean, they are like, no, they even came up with the military standby. I mean, this whole thing is crazy. You would think Tinubu would probably be like, hey, all right, check this out. I'm new here. Shout out to Niger. We'll work together and strengthen our relationship. Kick the French out. The people of Niger, they don't want the French there. Everyone is seeing it. Even those of us, we are here on the internet. We talk about this all the time. But now you're seeing it. You see who the French are pushing. Because you see, the French are worried that because they have 1,500 troops there. If they themselves make the move with their army directly, it would be like out in the open, black versus white. But this is how the French have been operating in Africa this whole time. They use other black Africans to delete other Africans. This is what has been going on. So this military, quote unquote, coups you're seeing, this is a revolution that we are seeing. These people are rebelling against the French. And I know some of you like to come and say, oh yeah, I support the military, but I'm against coup. You are speaking as a coon. You are speaking the white man's language. Because do you know what constitutional coup d'etat is? That's right. Alassane Ouattara, that shameless man who is the president of Cote d'Ivoire, or they say Ivory Coast, he is there speaking shamelessly, talking about, he totally condemns this. But do you know that man currently, that power he's holding, he got it through constitutional coup. Constitutional coup d'etat, meaning he refused to follow what the Constitution says. So therefore, when people say, oh, I condemn the military taking power, how else are they going to get the power back? Because at that point, when you have a foreign power who is exploiting a country, and they selected one of you who you thought was working for you, but you found out, no, in fact, this person is working for the foreigners. What are you supposed to do? Exactly. Oh, he said General Al-Sisi of Egypt. Yes, General Al-Sisi is another coon up in the north. But we will get to General Al-Sisi of Egypt as well.
That led us to this far. I want to thank my colleague and head of states, some of them are in vacation. They canceled their vacation to respond to this invitation this morning. And they have kept faith.
So guys, this is the Coon Quarter. You see in all of them, but some are there who, the way they respond, you can tell, because some of the country, they benefited from ECOWAS, right? So in the past, when it was noble, let's say the president of Sierra Leone, Madabio, Madabio, you can tell he is against the quote unquote military intervention in Niger, even though he knows that ECOWAS came to Sierra Leone and restored peace, but he knows this is not a peacekeeping mission. This is about an African country kicking out their oppressor. So therefore, people have to, use their common sense. And this is the problem with many of these coon countries over there in West Africa. Because you have places like Gambia, for example. They don't care about the plight of these, the people in Niger. You see? Many don't even understand it, and they don't care to understand. And you have Senegal. Macky Sall, the president of Senegal. Let's look at his track record. What is he doing to his political opposition? But they like to say, oh, human rights. it is the French and the white people that get to dictate the rules for Africans. Do you guys understand that? Is there any European nation anywhere that is helping an African country to take over a European country? Have you ever seen that? No, that's not even a thing. But this is a thing in Africa. The United States have bases in even in Niger. They call it the Africa Command Center. Imagine that. Imagine an African country having their, or us having our command center here in America. That alone, that is very suspicious. So Africans must wake up and realize, quote unquote, these people you call leaders are not leaders. These people are puppets. And if there's anything this Niger coup have exposed, it's shown us who the real, coons are, who the real puppets are. The reason why that region have been suffering, the reason why, the French Quarter of Africa is still in shackles. There's a reason for all this. So let me play a few seconds of Bola Tinubu. Is Nigeria's president. This is very uninspiring. It's very uninspiring, but let's just hear him out.
With hosts, with democracy, freedom, and economic development, not only of ECOWAS region, but the African continent as a whole. Today we gather with profound sense of urgency and firm determination. All
right. So Tinubu is reading the French, the paper that the French gave him. This is very clear. So he's not saying much, as you guys know. I don't know how Nigeria allowed this man to be their president. He is not making any sense. So let me give you a talk here. Let me show you this good conversation on what is really happening in that country and what the coons are doing, because this is conversation, this is long overdue for Africans to have. So the French are getting a big backlash from this country. Here we go.
Against the French in their former West African colonies has hit an all-time high in Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger. The pushback has been angry and noisy. Economic decline and instability linked to insurgents have characterized some of these countries, making them prone to military takeovers. To some critics, the policy of Franc-Afrique, which binds France to its former colonies economically, politically, and militarily, means the French never really left Africa. For others, the French are just meddlesome. This week on the program, we explore the genesis of anti-French sentiment in Francophone West Africa and how it is playing out, its geopolitical context, the likely outcomes for the wider Sahel region, and what the future may hold for France-Africa relations. I'm Beatrice Marshall. Welcome to Talk Africa. Well, in July, Niger became the latest former French colony to be taken over in a coup, with the military junta blaming France for their current economic problems. Before we begin our discussion, my colleague Daniel Arap Moy takes a look at the deteriorating relations with France in the region.
France has already evacuated 600 of its nationals from Niger. Paris has also cut budgetary support to Niamey and backed efforts by the economic community of West African states to reverse the coup. Amidst the deteriorating relations, French President Emmanuel Macron has warned Paris will respond to any violence against its interest in Niger.
Do you guys hear this? So guys, is this a former French colony or still a French colony? So the French have, what you're saying that's the French military. So they just like they fake it back in 1960, they made the Africans sign the document to make it seem like it's independence, but you were forced to sign a document that said all your military, your military operations would be tied with France, your banking, everything. So now Macron is literally threatening this country, talking about if anything happens to their soldiers, they are going to, take drastic action to protect their interests in another country. What is that called, people? That is called colonialism. They still own the place. That's why they are talking like that. But you see the people attacking the French embassy. They don't want them there. So Nigeria should help support them instead of going against them.
France has always maintained strong political and diplomatic ties with Niger since 1960, when the West African country gained independence from Paris. The relations have been retained by Niger's previous civilian and military administrations. They have now been suspended by the new military-led government of General Abdurrahman Chiani. Under a security deal signed with Niger, France has a garrison hosting 1,500 troops in Niger, together with an Air Force base servicing fighter jets and attack drones. These troops are there to take part in the fight against militant groups in the Sahel region. Now, days after taking over, the Niger military-led government announced that it had revoked defense cooperation deals with France, undermining French efforts to combat terrorism in the Sahel region. The French Foreign Ministry in response said that the revocation of military pacts by the junta will have no effect on existing military deals, since Paris does not recognize the junta. Niger is the world's 7th largest uranium producer, and France, which relies on nuclear energy for around 70% of its power, is a key importer. Niger has also been part of the CFA franc, a currency once pegged to the French franc and now to the euro. The currency provides Paris power over most of the former French colonies in West and Central Africa. Since gaining independence 60 years ago, French has remained the official language for the 25 million Nigerians and cultural organization within the Francophone group of nations. Daniel Arap Moy, CGTN, Nairobi, Kenya.
Well, joining me now to take a closer look at the rising anti-French sentiment in West Africa, Professor Joe Aftoka, professor of the American Graduate School in Paris. From Abuja, David Otto Endele, director, Horn of Africa Institute for Peace and Security. And joining us from London, Paul Ejime, global affairs expert and ECOWAS consultant on peace and security communications. Gentlemen, welcome to the program. I'll start off.
So, great conversation. You're going to see the French man here, the Nigerian man, another Nigerian, and Kenyan. So, let's hear what this conversation is going to be about.
With you, Professor Toka, there has been a flurry of activity from the international community following that coup in Niger. Why is Niger so important to the West, and particularly to France?
Well, it is the number 5 or 6 or 9, if you wish, if you take another time frame, a coup d'etat, putsch, over a relatively short period of time. And there is a feeling, at least in the West, in Europe, that was the putsch, which was the one, which was just the too many one. Now, this is but of a political and a psychological and mental sort of feeling, and it doesn't go all the way down to the roots of what politically and ideologically and militarily is the real picture in West Africa. But it is clear now, if we look at the map, that we have sort of a strip of about 5,600 kilometers all the way from the Atlantic Ocean towards the east, practically all the way to the Mediterranean, in which we have governments which are run by military rules, most of them because of a relatively recent coup d'etat, putsch. But the feeling right now is that this situation right now does not resemble the so-called ordinary putsch scenario, and actually poses real dangers not only to Niger, but to a whole list of countries around it, all over the Sahel.
So, David, let me get your view here. Is it really about too many coups in such a short time in Niger that France is so worried about?
The question now that a country like France seems to be more worried about is this the last bastion?
So, guys, did you hear like the Frenchman? Why is this Frenchman? Why is he concerned about coups that are taking place in African country? Think about that for a minute, ladies and gentlemen. Why is France concerned? Because obviously, if you look at it, the people are excited to have them, kicked out. But France is saying, oh, we're worried about too many coups taking place. That would mean they believe that these countries belong to them. The French believe this is their country. And Niger, in that region, I think that's their last stronghold. Ivory Coast and Senegal, their presidents are worried. You see, Ghana also, Ghana Zongo, that's true. Ghana, your country, also is talking about they're gonna send troops in. But I heard what this House Parliament member Sam George, he called out Nana Akufo and some of the Ghanaians who are talking about sending people in. But most Ghanaians are against it anyways, just like Nigerians.
This is the last military base that France will have in that particular region. They have been sent away from Mali. They don't have any roots at the moment in Burkina Faso. Now Niger, which was seen as the last base, is also falling. So I think what France now concerns itself about is that where does it go next, especially with the high level of anti-French sentiment, the high level of protest that France, has exploited these countries in the Sahel. So this is almost, for example.
So do you guys see those are all French citizens who are employed in Niger? They are living large while those people are poor and hungry. But let's continue.
Situation where I think the French brand has become so toxic that it doesn't have any roots to stand in any of these former colonies any longer. So that's the worry that France has at this point in time.
David, when you talk about exploitation, that France has been exploiting those countries in West Africa, what are you talking about?
If you look at what has been going on, people talk about, for example, in the case of Niger, where the French have about 15%, exploiting uranium from there. There's talks about French imposition of the CFA currency and how it benefits from that. They talk about the legacies of Francafrique, which includes some old-time signatures, that were agreed upon, about paying reparations to these French colonies. So a lot of the current 21st century Africans who live in this part of the world, where French used to be the key colonial master, they are thinking they want a 10 of the page. They want to have partnership, where they can have equal say. They want to move away from the old colonial legacy. And, perhaps, this is all the signs that we've seen. I mean, there is no justification for coup d'etats, but these are all signs of kind of resistance, to the existing and the continuous presence, of French domination in this part of the continent.
Paul, I want you to weigh in here and look at some of those historical issues like the CFA and how it's been closely linked to West African states and what France has actually been doing. Why does it seem that France has been so deeply involved in West African countries decades after independence?
It's a case of the cow that they are milking in Africa. It's not just West Africa. I think it's most of the former French colonies. It's historical. They started with a policy of assimilation, making these people believe that they are French citizens while they are not. And then they came to association. Before they gave them independence, like David was saying, they made them sign up, their leaders sign up to...
Guys, did you hear this? So France, during quote-unquote, independence, they made these countries tricking Africans, making them believe they are French citizens. In fact, these countries have representatives in the French parliament, in the French house where they make laws. You see? But this is all fake. This is just to exploit them. So this man is explaining, all laws that were signed, when they quote unquote said they gave them independence, but technically these places are not independent. So what you are seeing, this is war of independence. Astro said, oh, how did they trick them? No, what I'm saying is, Astro, you have to remember those who were resistant to it. So they deleted those people off and they put their own puppets in. So that's how they've been operating this whole time. So the old spirit of 1804 in Haiti, this is what is being repeated in these regions. They are revolting against the French. By the way, the link is in the chat. Feel free to hit it and be brave. Sit tight. I see you in the back there. And guys, hit the link and come join into the conversation here.
very disadvantageous treaties, like the fact that they would be housing, depositing their resources in the French treasury. That's why you have the CFA for West Africa and Central Africa. And there, they now are made to borrow this money at market price. So how can you do that? You take somebody's money, because they actually exploit them, all the mineral resources. France is given the first point of refusal. It's unless when France says they cannot do it, that is when you now give it to the other countries. And at the same time, it is just they make them also buy defense or everything. They are dependent, actually. I call it flag independence for these countries. And it's been there. I think the people want to take back their country, the citizens, because they have seen that their leaders are in cahoots. They are conniving with French authorities to exploit them. Right. How can you imagine that in Niger that we are talking about, their uranium is a very prized mineral. They exploit that to power electricity for almost 60% of French citizens, while Nigerians are in darkness.
So, David, why has this relationship gone on in this manner, both economic and social, for so long?
Well, I think it's gone on for so long because, there hasn't been any resistance, as we've seen in the current cases, be it through military coups, which, of course, I cannot justify. But if you look at the reaction of the population, it tells you that perhaps, now, as compared to 40, 50 years ago, there are now options. The geopolitical space is shifting. There is no longer hegemony. Previously, the Western countries, for example, the US, the UK, and the rest of them, will not go into spheres of influence. If you've been given a particular colony, whatever business you do there, there is no interference. But what we've seen today is that this is shifting. We have the likes of China, we have the likes of Russia, and other countries that, are now delving into this space. And some of the people of these countries have seen that there is an option. If we leave France, we perhaps, might shift towards China because, they don't interfere in the affairs of our country. Shift towards Russia, they don't do the same. So there are options that people are now seeing in the continent and saying, well, let's get away with France, because, we haven't benefited anything. Let's go with those that we can do business with. And simply, that is the reason why we're seeing all these uprisings at this point in time. But also that Africans are becoming more independent. They want to run their own affairs. They want to ensure that they had to take, the faith into their hands. All this idea of, colonial masters or colonial legacy, they are no longer interested in it. So they want to forge a new future ahead.
So the man is right. So the old, the old system that's been in place since quote unquote independence is not working, because how can you be a leader, quote unquote, of a president? You have no ambition or you don't even inspire your people. Do you know, like these presidents, they go get their medical treatments in European countries. So that means they have no desire in even improving the healthcare of their own nations. See, I have been saying this. I've been very suspicious of it for a while. When I listen to some of the way, like the way some of these African quote unquote leaders talk, I was like, man, are these people like the gatekeepers? Are these people the leaders that, quote unquote, they put in place to deceive the rest of the population, to make the population believe that, okay, in fact, we are free, but in reality, they are not? Because how can, a sovereign nation, not have any control over their own resources or their banking system? That doesn't make any sense. So the people are sick and tired of the French. The French model is not working. So they are revolting. They want the French out. So the French also, they are trying to fight hard, but we are in the 21st century. So now it is a lot harder to conceal, what you're doing in other parts of the world. The world is a lot more integrated than it was yesterday, because the French supported the coup in Niger in 2010. Even this Bazoum, at the time, he was not president, he supported it. So it's like They just want to pick and choose who to support. So here we go.
And they're looking for partnership, one that develops the nation and one that sees them as equals.
Professor Toka, your voice here. I mean, is it what's the reaction from France, first of all, to this anti-French sentiment on the continent, and secondly, is it is France worried about the geopolitical shift here, particularly from the francophone countries?
Well, because if you look at the present situation and the explosiveness of all the ingredients, look at the map. You look at the map, you go all over Niger's borders, wherever you try to touch, you see a set of accumulated problems. Because wherever you touch over there.
That's because all these sets of problems he is talking about, the French brought it over there. What is he talking about? He's like, oh, wherever you go, there's problem. So he's trying to advocate that the French should come. The French are already there. They are already there. This is why those problems are there. So the people said, you have to go. So this is weird. Let me bring in Be Brave. Be Brave, welcome to the Afridamus. Oh, can you turn off your YouTube? Like click off of it?
Oh, you mean I didn't kill the am I getting an echo?
I'm getting an echo.
Let me see this. This. I thought I killed.
Can you hear me?
How's that, Alfredamus?
I'm still echoing. But mute. Let me hear something.
Maybe you have to mute. My computer is messing up. Maybe you have to.
Okay.
How's that? If we talk,
just mute. Let me see. All right. So Be Brave. I'll bring you on. Be Brave. So how we'll do it is, since it's echoing, if we both talking, I would mute myself, but I want to hear your take. As you can see, we are back to where we are. Clearly, it's showing now. ECOWAS and AU, which are supposed to be representing African continents, African people's interests. So clearly, Niger, which is next door to Nigeria, France is exploiting these people. Clearly, they don't have their independence. So this coup is causing France to lose the leverage they have there. But they want to fight. But Nigeria, the new quote-unquote president they had, which in Nigeria, their election happened just like we had it here. How, that month-long counting. And they had Stacey Abrams. She went over there. This guy's cozying with the Bidens. So you know what is happening here. So now it is clear, so he's the leader of ECOWAS. Who is he representing? Is he representing African interests, or is he representing the French? Why is he hell-bent on saying they're going to take military action if these people do not bring back that other leader? But those people, the people of that country, don't want that guy. Your take.
Okay, I'm sorry, Afterdamus. I need a new computer. How am I doing now?
Good. When I'm muted.
Very good. Afterdamus, I have a question, and I'm not asking it as a joke. I'm serious. Who are the arms manufacturers in Africa? And you got AR-15s, AK-47, Baryshnikovs. France has their gun. Who are the arms manufacturers in Africa? Can you give me a couple of names, like good guns that they use? Or is it all imports?
Go ahead, mute yourself. So they do have, they have the Wagner group there. They get weapons from Russia, who is, because, the enemy of your enemy is your friend. So they get weapons from Turkey, you see? So in fact, let me give an example.
Allow me to interrupt, please.
Okay. Hold on. While you do that, I'll let you speak, and I'll show this video of some of the new technology these people are getting. So it's not only France or United States, that manufacture weapons. So you have to take that into consideration.
Okay, speak now. I'm so sorry, Aphrodite. Okay, listen, Aphrodite, my point is that's my point. It's all imports. They're not manufacturing anything, any weapons, nothing. That's my point. If they're not manufacturing anything and they're relying on imports, that means it's all a damn filthy stage show. They're importing all the weapons. Nobody's making anything. If Nigeria was serious, they would have a weapons manufacturing plant with gunpowder, mechanisms, and steel and tooling. Do you see what I'm saying, Aphrodite?
All right. Go ahead. Okay, so they might not manufacture weapons. That doesn't mean you cannot utilize weapons that are already made. There are a few African countries who don't manufacture weapons. They went to war with their European colonizers and they won against them. So you don't have to manufacture the weapons to know how to use them. You see?
Okay, Aphrodite, allow me, please. You have to manufacture weapons if you have a real power, a real direction towards independence. You cannot rely on anybody importing weapons for you to protect yourself with, or you are relying on somebody's silly mercy. That's my point. No, I'm sorry, Aphrodite. If you don't have weapons manufacturing, if you don't have weapons manufacturing technology in your country, you have nothing other than somebody shipping stuff in from where they want. The corporate machine ships this in. Let's get these guys the Baryshnikovs. Let's get these guys the AK-47s. Please, for God's sakes, understand that if you're not manufacturing your weapons, you have no hope of independence. Meaning that this is all orchestrated, set up. Because all of the countries involved are relying on fucking imports. That's not natural. That's not possible. You have to have your own manufacturing, your own weaponry if you want to have independence. So that means that this is, by that measure, a joke. And we're ignoring it. I don't care what, I understand anybody can make use of imported weapons. My God almighty, Aphrodite, I understand that. That's my point. They'll pump in $3 million worth of AK-47s. Okay,
let me ask you this. So they are aware of all this, right? They are exploited to nothing. They are on their knees. They know who's exploiting them. What do you suggest they do? You want them to just continue taking it, or what are you saying here? Should they just lay down and go along with the exploitation?
Aphrodite, I'm saying that if you're relying on imported weapons, you're relying on a fantasy. Get your ground level. If you're the poorest people in the world, get to the ground level and make demands at that level. And it's hope, and it's very, and I'm not even saying it's easy. I'm not even saying it's possible. How many times have you heard me talk about it's already a one world system for about the last fucking 100 years? So the point is no. If I lived there, I would be asking myself, how miserable are we? Number one, okay, let's take the miserable and look at it. Now, what can we approach the throne with? Because I'm not bashful. I know there's a throne. I'm not delusional. There's a throne. What can we approach the throne with? Requests to give us better water, housing, food, and distribution. And you do that intellectually. Because if you're doing it with weapons, my God, you're falling into the same filthy poisons that they want you to, so as to control you. Either make your ammunitions and then make that demand from a military standpoint, then make your ammunitions, make your weapons, tool your guns, tool the weapons to fight people. Then what would happen, I'm sorry, Aphrodite, they would sanction you. You wouldn't get any ores for the steel. I mean, this ain't kid stuff we're talking about. You're importing weapons to kill each other, when in reality, if you have to import weapons, it's all a joke. That should be the most obvious factor that leads you to understand that you're being meant as a engineered manipulation to basically kill each other. And what happens is they get the natural resources for cheap because nobody's thinking about business.
Let me say something. Hold on. Again, I'm repeating. I hear what you're saying. So you want them to wait till they know how to make their own weapons, right? You want them to wait till they can do that and try to take care of this. Is that what you're saying?
I am saying, Aphrodamos, that if you don't have your own weapons manufacturing, you have to take the submissive route. You have to be careful. You have to take where you don't get slaughtered. They're slaughtering you with this stuff.
But what I'm saying, okay, you are speaking in terms of back in the days, Africa. This right here, what they are doing, this is completely different. These people are removing this French out of their country. They are not turning the guns, African versus African. People are united against their oppressor. It's not like people are turning the guns on each other. The Black Africans are united against these people. So my question to you, right? Okay, they know their exploiter is here. So they have somebody who makes weapons. They buying weapons from them. That's how everything starts. They've been doing that. Some countries already improvise. They are able to make their own. But I'm saying to you, since you said these people cannot make their own weapon, what should they do? Do they just say, okay, fuck it, we'll just wait until we can make it?
Aphrodamos, I'm telling you, if they're getting weapons imported to them, the French, the people importing the weapons to the people that are against the French are on the side of the goddamn France.
No, they're not importing from the French.
No, they're not importing. No, yeah. I don't care where they're coming in from. I'm saying the people that are importing the weapon.
Be brave. You're not answering my question. My question is, I get what you're saying. So should they just wait, just continue getting exploited, right? Until they learn how to make weapons and make moves. That's what I'm asking.
Okay, I got you. I just wanted to make it clear that the people importing the weapons are on France's side also. It's a game that's good cop, bad cop. Okay, now, so what do the people do? Wait till they can make weapons? Aphrodamos, if I was a person in that country, I would say there are political processes. We can do many, many things at the ground level, and maybe we can't do many things. But the point is we don't need to fall in the trap of getting weapons imported to us that are actually on the same side as the France that we're supposed to be fighting against. It's insanity. Drop the weaponry. Wait a minute, let me finish.
Be brave. Be brave.
Yeah.
Mute for a second. They've already done what you're saying. They assassinate their leaders. So far, the same weapons they've flooded these countries in with, the weapons are already there. The people who were supposed to be on their side took the power of their own country. They are standing on their own, saying, we want you out, because they brought the weapons so these people can use it against each other. Instead, they turn against the French. So what you're saying, all this diplomacy, they've tried all that. It didn't work. You know, to say you're not making weapon, you're not gonna fight. That's coward to me. That's being a coward. When are you ever gonna be ready? When are you going to be ready? The weapons are already there. What do they have to lose? They are getting humiliated. They've been getting humiliated for years. So you are telling me just because they don't make weapons, they should just lay down and cower until they learn how to make weapons. Is that what I'm hearing?
My God almighty, Aphrodamos, because they don't make the weapons, they got to look who the weapons are coming from to make sure that the weapons aren't coming from people that actually side with France, who they're supposed to be against. What I'm saying is murder and mayhem many times in these small countries is simply to keep people off balance so that their natural resources can be stolen. My God almighty, if I was a black man in Niger, I would be saying, you dumb, stupid bastards, where do you think we're getting these guns from? Oh, it's France's friends. Now we're going to pick them up and go against France. I'm saying it's a no. Wait, no. Let me finish.
Hold on.
It's a big no. It's a big bite. It's a big bite. I get it.
Hold on. Be brave.
Okay.
I don't think you understand what is happening here. When is Russia, a friends with France? This is not the first time Russia have backed Africans in Africa, supply them with weapons, and they beat the Europeans. This is not the first time. It's not like, again, I'm asking you is, okay, you're saying they don't make weapons. They are being oppressed. They are being exploited. It's not like they are being defeated right now. They are making headways. But you are saying, are you saying, no, just let France continue to control the mines and just let them continue. Don't kick them out. Let them hold on to the mines, and you Africans just be good until you can make weapons. Then you decide to kick France out. Is that your position?
Aphrodamos, the gains that are made in Nigeria right now are staged. If you think France and Russia are enemies, you're childish. I'm not. With all due respect, I really, I think the world of you. But I'm just saying, if you think France and Russia are enemies, you're living in a different world. You're not going into the new world. It's a new world order. My point is this: if they're importing, if I was there, I would tell everybody, look, we're making headways with weapons that are given to us by somebody that is also in favor of France's agenda. It doesn't. You think when you get control of this country that you're going to control the natural resources? Are you out of your mind? Who buys the natural resources? You have to succumb to that. So that in the end, no, wait a minute, let me finish. So I'm saying, Aphrodamos, I got to get off here because I'm old and ragged. Listen to me. Listen.
Let me say this one thing. Hold on. If you can mute. What you're saying is speculations at this point. They are in control of their mines right now. They've stopped French mining. So we just gotta wait and see, because to me it's like what I'm hearing is you basically are saying they should not fight, because at this stage the only thing is for them to, if they follow what you are saying, is they just kick back and let the French continue doing what they're doing. That's what you're saying.
Aphrodamos, what I'm saying is if France is standing back in a stage show and they're saying, ooh, we're scared of you with your guns that Russia supplied. Oh, France says, by the way, Russia is our friend, and they're supplying you with weapons for this stage show. I'm saying you all have to stop being so serious about what you think you're seeing, and understand that even if you get control of your minds, you do not have control of that resource. They can come in at any time and destroy anything you want. What they're going to do is make it look like you folks rose up and won. That gives little guys hopes.
Be brave. That's an insult to Africans. That means you're saying, can you mute? You're saying that we, the Africans, we've been dealing with this. We don't have the intelligence and capability to know what is at stake, even though we are the ones involved in this. I'm telling you, there are countries who have fought white people with white people weapons in Africa and defeated them militarily. And what you're saying, this is not true. If France truly, you think the position that France is in, they want to be in it, if they could do something about it, they will do it. I don't believe France is friends with Russia. I don't believe that one bit, about what is going on. But what you are saying is, I completely disagree. I completely disagree that if you're oppressed, you're supposed to wait till you know how to make weapons. They don't need to wait for all that. You don't need to know how to make create the internet to use it.
Okay.
So unless you are suggesting, that these people fold their hands, and sit, but to say, oh, these other people are together, we don't know that. As far as we're concerned, we don't know that. You know what I'm saying? We don't know that. All because these people are on the grounds. But I do not believe that it's quote unquote, oh, France is letting these people win. That's saying the Africans are dumb, but that's not reality. Go ahead.
Okay. Thank you, Afrodamus. I'm not naming Africans on this. Americans do the same thing. We're led to war for nothing. We don't even know what the hell we're fighting. We go kill people in third world countries. Afrodamus, let's say this, because I like you a lot, man. If you think France and Russia aren't allies, and I'm saying you think they're not, I'm saying France and Russia are allies. And the weapons that they pump across each other are to take you Africans into hellholes. They've done it to us Americans, not in American soil, but in American wars and Third World Wars. So let's say this, Afrodamus. If you think France and Russia are not buddies, and I say France and Russia are buddies, Afrodamus, my good old buddy, on this matter, one of us is a goddamn fool.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
All right.
Let me bring in the other panel.
Thank you so much.
Let me get a statement on that.
All right, let's bring in. Be brave if you can mute. All right, we got Zongo in the house. Zongo coming from the other Coonish quarter. Hold on. Let me make sure I give him the education.
I can do some shuffling too. Look out, man, what you gonna do? Look out, boys, it's coming through. Yeah, man, yeah, man. Boy, he got educated feet.
Right, Zongo, what education you bringing out from Ghana?
Afridamas, I mean, even before I start, first of all, like greetings to you, greetings to your panelists, and greetings to the chat. Even before I start to even make my comment, you are assuming that I'm beginning to coon, right?
No. I'm just because of Adana Akuf. Ghana is sending the truth. Let me read this super chat. L.A. Wilkes, he's a Yoruba from the Yoruba tribe in Nigeria. Yeah. Thank you for the super chat. He said, I see Fat Turner has gained another chin. Good job, sir. There's no Fat Turner on this panel, sir. Thank you very much. Okay. Okay, go ahead.
Well, I think. Can you hear me clearly?
Oh yes. You sound like a white man, but yeah, go ahead.
Well, I think Be Brave was making a solid point. If I can be honest with you.
Okay, go ahead. Elaborate.
Because I mean, we have the natural resources, but we don't have the machineries and and the years of experience in order to convert the natural resources into finished product, right? We do say Niger, for instance, have uranium and natural resources, and France is exploiting them, right? But we going to Russia. Are they going to teach the Nigerians how to actually convert the uranium into actual nuclear energy? Is that what they're doing? Or
good question.
Or is they're going to use the same tactic that the Europeans are using as well?
Good question. Because see, this is not the first time Africans have dealt with the USSR, especially even farming techniques and a lot of things that African liberated countries have. Their interaction with Russians. They usually through intellectual exchange too. It's not so they learn. So because if you look at it, what is happening in those countries, the reason why they are behind this whole time, clearly, those quote unquote leaders are selected, not elected by the people. They don't promote the interests of the people. You see, so for example, like the president of Niger, all he was interested in pushing French interests, right? So he's not going to, take steps that's going to empower his people.
No,
So
I mean,
so
I mean, most African countries are practicing democracy, right? I mean, he came to office. There has been existing like business deals between corporations in other countries and some African government. It's not going to just come in one day and just say, "Oh, I've kind of like rescinded those contracts," right? Because if you are practicing democracy, you gotta honor
but
some of
what
the.
is democracy?
No,
Hold
I'm
on, let
gonna
me
say
read this. Mayor Monkey, thank you for the super chat. He said $1 for each chain. Oh my God. Thank you for the super chat. Uh, okay, so Zongo, what
no.
is democracy in
What I'm
your
saying is that
in your perspective? Because
no,
like,
the point
what
I'm
is
saying,
democracy?
the point I'm saying is that when he comes into office, he cannot just come and just rescind all the contract. That's what I'm saying.
Why not?
I, I mean, because he has to uphold the contract because it
So
was signed
he's
between.
supposed to uphold a contract that is effing his own people.
I mean, Afrinamas. You heard the last time some of the Nigerians when they were saying that some of the Nigerians, if you be slow, people will take over you. That's what the Europeans are doing on us. If you are slow, they're gonna take over you, man. If you don't know the business, they have more knowledge
Okay,
than you.
but what
They're
I'm
gonna take
saying
over
is,
you, right?
but how come
But
like
you
the
still gotta,
Africans
but you still have
Africans
to
are
honor the
taking the
contract.
steps, right?
Hmm.
Africans are taking the steps.
Yeah,
Why are people not giving the Africans the benefit of the doubt?
I'm
They are
saying.
coming up with all kinds of excuses. Oh, let me read this super chat. Kwaku, thank you for the super chat. It's a common sense restored to the panel. Shout out to Afridamus and other panels. Thank you very much for the super chat. Let me thank you here for that. Thank you very much. Awesome. Thank you very much, guys. Please don't forget to hit this super chat or like the video.
I mean, Afridamus, I'm not here to espouse democracy or democratic principles. I mean, the point I'm trying to say is that um, hi history has already taught us like some events that happened, right? Like when Nkrumah achieved Ghana's independence, he was making the same political rhetoric. Oh, a black man can do what, the same thing. And lo and behold, he was just taken out of office. Boom, right? So, like B Brave was saying, we have to be very cautious with our approach. We don't want to attract too much attention, like attention
But
from
when
world
you
powers.
okay,
The point is,
that's when you
the point.
said do not attract too much attention.
Attention.
That's it's too late for that. Like the attention is already there. It's
Because
been there since 1884. Like
yeah, I
like
mean,
it's too late for
Afrikaners,
that.
that if the Europeans want to invade and do something, it's easy for them to do. But
No, no, it's not. It
but
used to be,
but I'm
not
saying,
anymore.
politically, they don't want to invade because it's going to send a signal of colonialism
But okay, Zongo, what do
tendency,
you
right?
suggest? What do you suggest that Niger, right? Clearly, you can see these people are not independent fully. They have French troops there. They are being economically exploited. Okay, you say you agree with Be Brave. So what do you suggest?
I'm saying he's
What do
making some valid
hold on,
points.
hold on. Okay, what do you suggest that the people of Niger should have done?
With this current
Situation.
situation. I mean, I would say, I mean, they have to. I mean, hey, it's already late now at this current
No,
situation.
no, but what I'm saying, because obviously you have your own idea what you think. How would they have gotten themselves out of a situation where they have a leader who, because obviously he doesn't have, this guy doesn't
But
even
Afrikaans,
have people, he doesn't have support. It's clear that the majority are against him.
yeah, but
So
Afrikaans,
so and they don't want the white man, which are the French, in their country.
yeah,
So what do you suggest, since the people are against the leader, they against the French, they don't want to be exploited? What do you, as a democracy, Mr. Democracy, what do you suggest that the people of Niger do? Continue to allow themselves to be exploited because they don't have knowledge to transform uranium to energy, or what?
I mean, even during like when they were like upholding democratic principles, I mean, it was just easy. They could just empower their own people in terms of businesses, as far as like people making money from the uranium. The people, like the citizens, could be the one making the money. Just like if you come to America, most of the people making the money are mostly Americans making the money. It's not like they're bringing they are investors from other countries, but mostly Americans are the ones making the large chunk of
Yeah, but
their own
Zongo,
soil,
that would
right?
mean Zongo, they've never had control of it. This is the first time they are kicking the foreigners who have control over it. So they've never had control over the uranium. The French are using their military, they have their puppet to make it seem like that person is representing the country, but it's not. So basically what you are saying, the only way that is possible is through what we are seeing.
Afidam, it's not like, I mean, see, even in the case of Ghana, for instance, I mean, I can give you an insight of based on even what I saw in the oil and gas industry. You know, like the oil and gas industry. I mean, just because I don't
But
know,
you
like,
guys have control over it. These people do
Afidam.
not. Do
I
you
mean,
guys have white soldiers with guns in your country and
listen, yeah,
employees?
I mean, the thing is, like, it's not like most of the military that
You don't
go
understand
to
what
like.
he's talking about.
Zongo, these people
Hold on. Let me make a
they're
statement.
physically colonized. Do you understand that?
Yeah,
Economically colonized.
Afidam.
So what are you saying? Are you saying these people,
Yeah.
they clearly, you're seeing they don't want the French in their country. They don't want them there. So if comparing it to Ghana, it's not even comparable because Ghana have full independence than this
Afidam, I mean,
country.
the point I'm trying to say, even in Ghana, we do complain that we have oil, but we don't see the benefit. We have gold, but we don't see the benefit, right? Because a lot of the times we are not empowering our own people to make the money from the country, right? The fact that we're having a democracy that is moving on, it does mean a lot of the people are making money from the country. You know, if you go to Ghana,
So Zongo, are you for or against the coup?
I mean, if majority of the people are in for it, I mean that's a power to them, right? But
No, I mean you.
I it's not on to me for me to determine whether I'm for the coup or
No,
not.
no, no. Well, you can't. We want to hear you. You're an African. You're an ECOWAS. You're close to the place. You've agreed with be brave a bit. So you sound skeptical. So we are
Based
asking
on
you:
based
Are
on
you based on what is happening,
Mhm.
what that these people are going through? Do you support? Are you for or against the coup in that situation in that country?
I mean, based on the happening, if the people in that country believe that the coup will be
No, we mean you from what you're.
but I'm basing that based on what I'm hearing from the news, right? I don't have like ground information from Niger. I'm basing
No,
on
well, because that would mean because you're talking about the
because you
you
understand.
guys even have oil and gold in Ghana, you don't see it. That would mean you are suggesting what the hell is this? Is this Nigerian mad about? I mean, the same thing is happening to us in Ghana. So that's why I'm asking, are you are
I'll
you
say
for or against the coup?
I would say personally, I would say our people like Africans are large. I mean, we need to educate ourselves to the highest
No,
level.
but
Yeah,
Zongo, are
what I
you
mean,
for? You're not answering this. Are you
yeah,
for? Are you for the toppling of French control in Niger? Oh no.
I mean, because I don't have the full details of how they are really controlling the resources over there. Are they the same
But
Nigerians?
we gave you.
Yeah,
I
but are they the
played the
ones
video.
making the business deals? Because if the previous government are still Nigerians, right? They are still the ones making the deals, right? So if the new one, if the coup leaders come into office and they don't want to,
I can do some shuffling too. Look out, man, what you gonna do? Look out, boys, it's coming through. Yeah, man, yeah, man.
Continue, Zongo.
so I'm cooning now, Afrodamas.
No, 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 no. I didn't say that.
But I think my view.
I just
I
want you
think
to answer the
I think
question.
I think my view should be acknowledged. Because sometimes you don't want to be everybody being in the same boat. You have to find someone that's always going to push back
You
a
have a
little.
great lack of understanding.
And I'm not what?
So Zongo, do you know about? Do you know that these people are still technically colonized by France?
Perhaps I don't understand the extent of the colonization in their
No,
country.
but what I'm saying is,
Mhm.
they don't make decisions even with their currency.
Mhm.
So, do you think this Niger should just continue to be
Afidam is
exploited?
do we make decisions in our own countries too? I mean, we print most of our currencies in foreign countries actually.
Okay, okay.
You
Hold on,
understand? We
hold
go to
on.
European countries to print our
Okay,
currency.
so it's a no for you. You are against the coup. Let me
Not,
ask
not necessarily like I'm against or whether for the coup. I'm against
Zongo. You're not
business deals.
answering this,
I'm against. I know I'm in for the business deals that favors the interests of the people.
but
But
it's not though. It's
but
not.
but the coup lead because I'm not a person that espouse we are in a state of euphoria, everything is great, this do no, we still need the learned people in the country to kind of help the people kind of move forward. We need that. It's not like the coup leader is going to instill fear, it's going to push all the learned ones away, and I mean, how's the country going to thrive? It's not going to work that way. And also and
Okay.
also and
So
also
Zongo,
and
so
also they have
you want the French to just be there then?
that's what I'm saying. I'm saying they have to tread cautiously
No,
with
so you want the French to continue?
that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying they have to
Well,
tread
that's the
cautiously.
other option though.
Well, they have to
You
tread
have a lack
cautiously.
of understanding the situation.
All right, let me bring in Nat Turner. It's not Nat Turner. Welcome to the Afidamus report.
Thank you.
Nat Turner, what do you want to say on this
Um,
matter? Nat Turner, what do you think Nigeria, their leader, is he representing African interests or he is representing Massa? Because you got
I
the white
wouldn't call it the
people.
way you say massive. Well, let's say this: people got to eat. And
Nat Turner, not you two, not you two.
no, you ain't gonna let me say what I want to
Okay,
say.
okay,
That's
go
every
ahead.
country in the world. Every country in the world got to do this. If you're not able to feed the people, you will not be ruler because it goes down. People go to their basic instincts. Right now in Niger, they're happy now because all the shop owners ran away and they looting. They looting. So that's what the happiness is about. But once 6, 7 months go down with those sanctions and Nigeria taking 70% of their energy, when they start going hungry, that's when they got to do.
Look, Nat Turner,
Because
they are not looting. They have look. Some of these just few people who saw how the blacks were acting here, how the blacks are looting in the stores here. They just copy some of the FBA people. It's just few people that
well,
are copying.
a lot
No,
of the
but
black people that's looting are immigrants that come
oh
over here.
jeez, oh
But
jeez.
I'm just saying what it is. But we get to blame. The black Americans get to blame. But when y'all do something achievement great, then y'all say I'm from Ghana, I'm from Nigeria, I'm from Gambia. But when they do crime, they black American all of a sudden.
So
African American.
Nat Turner, you said they just gonna be excited. So what are you saying? So you think they should let the French continue to control them?
What did people have a lack of understanding? When a country comes with technology and money, it costs a lot of money to invest. Now, what happened in Niger, a whole lot of millions of dollars got lost. They make them a riskier for to even put money into. They are risky because you don't know they could take it over and have a coup. Them coups wipe your whatever you put in there out.
So wait. So
exactly,
I'm
exactly.
asking you. Wait,
So, Nat Turner.
wait.
So I think you kind of understand what I was saying earlier, right?
Hold on. So Nat Turner, let me ask. So Nat Turner, what should they have done then? They are being exploited. They are.
Yes.
These people they got their foot on their neck, and I hear you talk about white supremacy. This is the real white supremacy. Physically there with guns, and the blacks stood up there like they don't want them there. But you are
Yeah.
suggesting that the blacks should just take it?
No. What I'm saying is this. Let's do it reality. Y'all don't have the technology. That coup that took over It's happy times now because everybody get all this free stuff. More people that ran out of there.
But don't you
But when
think
it
it's
comes
better to
down
be free?
But when it's time, well, if you're running out of there, they look at their survival. They ain't care about those shots. They were taking plane loads out of people out there like nothing. And let me say this.
Well, they are going to ask for reparation because the French have been stealing for years. This is not just the end. They're going to also ask for reparation.
They haven't
Just
been
so
stealing.
what?
Because they signed, listen, they
Are you
signed contracts.
Wait.
They got contracts.
So okay. So now, Turner, slavery too. They signed contract. They have bill of sale. But you
Slaves
asking?
They never signed no contract. No slave ever signed a contract in America.
No,
Never.
It's a trade, so technically it's a
It's
contract.
not, no, there is no contract. Before you was born,
contract, bill of sale.
You were sentenced to a life of labor.
So
Before
wait,
you was born.
so now Turner, you are in favor of French people colonizing Africans?
No, what I'm
Because
saying.
that's what you're saying.
No, you're not going to listen. That's what I'm saying. Let's be real. Okay? The first world didn't come there overnight. It took a lot of deaths, World War II, because 100 million people. They was pressured to be that industrial. They was pressured to be that ingenious. They was pressured to put money in, all that stuff. Y'all don't have the markets. So it ain't like y'all can take them natural minerals and make a computer that's going to be anything. It's going to be obsolete because nobody's going to buy it because y'all can't compete with the technology these first world countries got.
Oh man,
So,
you know what? Nathan, I did not know.
That's a
You
fact.
know,
That's a fact.
Afdamas, he's
What are
making
you
a
gonna make
valid
out of
point.
bamboo?
okay,
Right.
you know what? I want to hear the other people too. Fine, you. Let's allow the other ones too. Nathan Zongo. So now we have Judah. Judah in the house.
Oh yes, Demus, can you hear me?
I can hear you, Judah. Judah, do you think whose interest is AU, ECOWAS, and Nigerian President Tinubu, and the Gambia, and all those other presidents? ECOWAS, whose interests are they representing? Is it the interest of France, or the interest of the people of Niger or Africans? Which one is it?
Um, let me start by giving you a little kind of background history about slaves. When the slaves in America were freed, some Black Americans opposed to being freed as slaves.
That's a
Um,
lie.
oh, let me finish, man. I stayed on the panel while people were
Finish your
talking.
lies. Go ahead.
I never say any word. Please just let me
You
talk.
talk about direct descendant. You talking
When
to
when when slaves were decided to be freed in America, some slaves opposed being freed.
and they
They
tell
even
me
fight.
some of them went ran up in a slave master house and kill
Academic,
everybody. That was
can
their
you let me
freedom.
talk, sir? I just got on
You
the.
talk about
I've been
my
on the
family.
panel.
That's why I'm talking.
Sir, I've been on the panel while you talk about African stuff. Now let me give you. Please let me talk.
Because it's American
When
money. It's
slaves.
first world money. Y'all wouldn't live without us. Let's talk facts. Y'all too savage in there.
Please stop talking, sir. Please represent Americans in a good light.
Really, we are in a good life. What are you talking about?
All right, sorry. I'm back.
Talking.
Hey, sorry, I just was getting some water. Now, Turner, please do not interrupt when people are speaking. He did not interrupt you, please. Do not interrupt. Go ahead, Judah.
Academics, I'm gonna go ahead and repeat my point. When slaves were being freed in America, a lot of slaves that were comfortable with a white man refused to be freed. They opposed freedom. They felt like freedom was a bad thing. While others fought for it, others did not. These guys are the ones that feed from the white man. They were scared going out and have jobs and create jobs for people. They were scared going out and face the challenges. They have that anxiety of fear in them. And till today, we see history repeat. Can people read, man?
Hey, guys, please, if anyone interrupts, I'm gonna drop you in the back. Guys, exercise some patience. Whatever you want to say, just calm down. you know, just remember it. You know, when your turn comes, you can address it. But please, guys, stop interrupting, because if two people talk at the same time, it's hard to understand. The people that are listening, they want to hear all of you out. Go ahead, Judah.
I think someone has to mute. There's a background noise
Yeah,
coming from
yeah.
someone.
In Infinity, can you mute?
I'm okay. I'll be. You come.
Go ahead, Judah.
Thank you, sir. Afidemos, look, we see history today repeating itself, where Africans are standing on the side of fleeing away from the white man, to face that challenges of freedom, and other Africans on the continent are saying no, freedom is not good. Oh, there will be a lot of consequences. Oh, Africa should mind the way they treat with the white man. Look, man, look. When I see things like this, I'm even short of word, because it's rather unfortunate that we still have Africans that think this way. You know, look, freedom is not given to a people; it is taken by force. You don't sit down and the white man say you are free. That's why till today the African Americans have never been freed from the white man, because
But
slaves
Judah,
was signed.
Judah,
Let me finish, Afidemos, please. Just give me a little minute. The white man told the blacks they were they were freed. The blacks did not fight for it. In Africa, it's the same thing. Look, you just sit down and the white man say, okay, most Africans did not even fight for freedom when most of them were given independence. The white man gave them independence, and most countries in the world fought a bigger war. That's why we have seen a lot of changes in these countries, in the East Asian countries, in Europe, in Americas, in South. Most people have fought for it. Africans have never fought. That's why we find ourselves where we are today.
well,
Now you have
Mozambique
this.
did, Guinea-Bissau, and a couple of other places.
Oh,
So, but
man.
Judah, let me ask you this. Judah, are you, because, you know, you from a region where you guys are fighting militarily, you know, to be independent. Are you surprised? You know, I mean, you should be able to relate to the people of Niger.
Of course,
You
these
know,
guys do not know
so
what
are you surprised to hear, you know, like let's say Zongo from Ghana, his country is contributing military too. They said they want to go fight against those poor people trying to free themselves from the French. Are you surprised that Zongo supports the French instead of the
No. I'm not surprised at all. Look, it's gonna be a point in time when Africans have to put people like this in an underground bunker and lock them up and throw the kill in water, throw the keys
Wait,
in water. This is the thing.
but maybe Judah, don't you think they're
Affidavit.
misunderstood?
Let me finish. Look, Africa have divided mindset when it comes to Europeans. It's rather unfortunate that we don't think the same way. I mean, of course, we don't have to think the same way, but when Europeans sit on the table and they talk of dividing Africa, everyone stood on the same acceptance slip and sign that decree and say, yes, we have to divide Africa. We have to go and scramble for Africa and take their resources. All the European countries accepted, the white man accept and sign that paper. Now, when it comes to us Africans, oh, we cannot have the same mind. Oh, the white man are benefiting this. Oh, look, there is no African country as we speak have total independence. We don't control anything, be it Anglophone countries, be it Francophone countries. All this stuff is just on paper. We don't control nothing. And these people are comfortable with the little loans, the little resources, the crumbs that the white man is giving it to them. So they feel comfortable with what they have instead of taking majority of what the white man is owning. Come on, man. You cannot be
I agree
comfortable
with
with the
Judah.
little crumbs. I mean, it's rather unfortunate that we have people on the panel that are so myopic, so self-centered, and think the little things that they are comfortable with is more of a good thing. Come on, man. Come on. I am sponsoring coup d'etats in every country. People that are being marginalized have to take the bull by the horn and kick out the government that are
So
conniving with the European countries.
Judah, what do you
to take
think
out their
Nigeria,
resources.
Judah, Nigeria is your neighbor. And in fact, France, you know, they are next stop thinking the possible troop they're going to use to help them. It could be one of your people, Cameroon. But also another thing that came into place about this Amazonian situation, because they said if Nigeria makes the move, you know, that's gonna, you know, because Cameroon have to be on their French side. Cameroon being on their French side, that would give more power to Ambazonia to take up the fight. So you know, Jude, are you for the coup d'etat in Niger, or you are against it, like
Oh
some
no,
of
no,
the
no, no.
panelists?
Afidemos, there is no way any African located in any part of the continent can be against a coup d'etat in Africa. I mean, when you talk of coup d'etat, you talk about constitutional coup d'etat, where presidents change constitution as they change toilet roll papers to stay in power, where presidents take over the resources and give it to the white man to stay in power. Come on, man. I mean, if an African look what is happening in Nigeria. Nigeria has never been in the right history of saving Africans. When Africans were fighting
They
for
help South
Pan-Africanism.
Africa.
No, see, every country in Africa has a history with one or other. I'm telling you, for the most part, Nigeria, as
Right.
I speak. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
the way I talk of Nigeria is not the way South African maybe they help South Africans. It's the same way. This is why I say for a reason. But this is the thing. Nigeria has never been in the path of saving majority Africans. For the most part, when Africans were fighting for Pan-Africanism, Nigeria was one of the countries that kicked against it. When Charles Taylor was running away with what he did in Liberia in such a way where we Africans have to judge our own people, Nigeria was the one that sold Charles Taylor to the white man to get weapons in exchange for weapons. This is the thing. Nigeria, I mean, come on, man. Look, in Cameroon, we don't look up to Nigeria for anything because, look, even when I mean, the president is. Have you seen this president Tinubu going to Cameroon? No, but Cameroon is one of the closest country in Nigeria. We don't look. Even Pobia is as old as what we have a policy of non-intervention. We don't intervene in things that does not matter to us. If a
Mm-hmm.
country is fighting for their independence, they have the right to. If they are fighting for their resources, go ahead and take it. This stuff that ECOWAS want to go ahead and push for a war against Niger. As we speak today, did you know that French has run out of electricity in France? A friend of mine in Paris told me how they went blacked out in 3 days because of no electricity, because of what happened, the uranium that was supposed to be sent for the power plant is of no. I mean, they lose a lot of amount of that uranium. So now there's blackout in France. This is to tell you that if care is not taken, we might see European countries crumbling. And if
So, Jude,
Africans do not stand in a history that will protect them, and then they will all be zero. That's why in America the blacks are being considered. A white man will scratch or spit on your face. Even you see all these black footballers, the white man, when the white man want to denigrate you, even if you give it to them, they still call you a dumb ass because you don't actually know what you're doing. And Africa must go ahead, man. Let me give
Jude, let
another
me
point.
ask you this 1 second,
Go
Jude.
ahead.
So, Jude, you know, you heard "Be Brave." You know, you're coming from a region that you believe you know you guys are marginalized and you're fighting for your freedom and independence. So you heard what "Be Brave" said, because basically saying if you know you are oppressed, you cannot manufacture guns. So therefore, you shouldn't fight. What do you say to somebody like "Be Brave" who's saying, "Hey, Jude, you guys, Amazon, you don't manufacture guns. Why would you fight? Why would you use guns that are made by other Europeans?" What do you say to someone like that? Should you
Afridemus,
wait till you know?
let me tell you what the spirit of freedom is. If the spirit of freedom haven't pushed you to the wall, it will be hard for you to react. Most white people do not actually know what freedom is because they are the super. They are the ones that black look up to them as those guys that have been powerful. But if a black person is being pushed to the wall often and often, even a little baby will react and overthrow that government in power. I'm telling you for a fact. Sometimes you might have most of the weapons on earth, but a person with no weapon will throw you out and defeat you. We saw what happened in Vietnam when the Americans got
Yeah.
torn out. Vietnamese do not produce weapons, but the weapons that American produced was of no use in Vietnam. We have seen history repeating itself when most Americans flee from Afghanistan and they have to come back to America. Look, Africans, man, this is the thing. We have that. See, when a white man is telling us something that it makes no sense, I mean, I see some Africans on this panel condoning with it. Africans can fight. You don't have to produce weapons to fight for the oppressed. An oppressor will never give you power. You, as the oppressed, need to know when and how to fight it. You have the terrain. They are not used to the terrain that you live in. You live, oh, I mean, come on, man. Afidemos, I'm done, man. I really want
All
to
right.
give somebody
Yeah, let's
the
bring AFR,
opportunity to
American
speak.
First
Thank you so much,
Rifleman.
man.
American First Rifleman, welcome to the Afridamus Report. American First Rifleman, what do you're seeing the issue in the West Africa? Obviously, Niger, they're standing up, they're kicking out their colonizer, and the puppet. So Nigeria's president, Tinubu, they got a standby force, which they're saying they are going to halt. But are you surprised to see ECOWAS and AU agreeing to go and fight a war against the people of Niger to reinstate the French puppet as their leader? What is your take on it? And also, Natona and Zongo, and Be Brave, their idea, even though they danced around it, but it sounds like they support French occupation. What is your take on this?
Shout out to you, Afrodamus. Just another great lesson in Negrology studies, So I didn't get my pen and paper out today because I'm working, but I'm still listening, trying to retain information. I'll try to be concise as possible. First thing, about the coup and everything, like, I'm halfway surprised that so many African countries just signed up and said they're gonna run behind Nigeria into Niger. Yeah, I'm halfway surprised at that. I don't know how enthusiastic they are. I think maybe Senegal looks like they're the most enthusiastic besides Nigeria, but the rest of them look like they're just like, yeah, we're ECOWAS, so we got to follow what they're doing. So so anyway, moving on. So yeah, I'm very surprised at that, and the whole thing about the weapons. Well, I'll just jump into the whole weapons thing, like how they don't produce their own weapons. Now, you're 100% right, Afrodamus, where there's been plenty of examples where, and hell, not even in just Africa, in other parts of the world, where the white man was thrown out of some place, and the people didn't produce no weapons, or they either had white people's weapons or they had their own, and the white man lost. So that's a lesson a lot of people need to take. And also, it's Be Brave I was rocking with him for a while, but the only thing is, like, you're right, but in the short term, Be Brave is more in the long term. So, like, yes, you can import weapons, get all the Russian-made ones, but after a while, you're gonna have to start your manufacture. Start your own manufacturer in your homeland, and utilize the other supply chains you have, because China will give you as much ore and ingots as you want.
But you got to start somewhere, right?
Huh?
You got to start somewhere.
Yeah, you have to start somewhere, and that's why when
if you don't start, you would never even get to what he said.
Yeah.
You have to first start. Even like Japan never invented a car. They bought American cars over time. They improvised, innovation. They were able to make Toyotas, Nissan, and the cars we're seeing today. So you have to start somewhere.
Yeah, you're 100% right. And so they do well to do that. To believe it or not, starting up a small ammo or weapons plant isn't really hard. I think Nigeria is really starting to get in on a game, and South Africa obviously has had a defense industry for decades. So there are African countries that have defense industries. The other ones just need to just stamp out some corruption and get the shit moving. That's all it really takes.
Do you want to see some of the African Dream Team and the Senegalese army formation? Let me show you right now. Here it goes.
Ghana.
That's Ghanaian army.
Nigeria. Guinea.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, what's Senegal's military record? Yeah, I
Yeah,
just
that's
wonder what.
that's the Senegalese
Yeah,
military for you. You know, doing the salam patas. They think they think this is salam patas. Niger is going to be a real war. But go ahead.
Yeah, hopefully that helps them storming a city and doing some urban combat. But in all seriousness, I don't know Senegal's military record. I wonder what it is. I haven't really heard anything good or bad about them, but I'm guessing it's not on the good side. But also moving on to, so yeah, I just wanted to make that clear. So Be Brave was right, but just maybe in a long term. And let me speak to this. Okay. Shout out to all my buck broken Americans, my foundational buck broken Americans in the room. Here's the deal. It's very sad that the very people, FBA, are the main people talking about blackity black and African and all that. And we need to work together. Stop talking. I know you're
not turn away.
Conserve your breath. I know you got that shit grin like you just ate a whole sweet potato pie with the whipped cream on it or whatever. But yeah, I know. We can tell. It's all in your jowls. Okay, relax, Fat Turner. I mean, Nat Turner. It's all in your jowls. Look, here's the deal. We love that feel good rhetoric. We're like, well, we black, stick together, blackity black. But then as soon as Africans actually take a step towards independence or trying to take care of their own damn affairs and not have Europeans or any other people in their business, there's either no support, because we all know every time Africans have a conflict or something happens, real ones from the diaspora always go and they want to do something, and they always go to Africa. There's plenty of examples of it. I'm not going to go into it now, but you know, Black Americans have always, in small numbers, have always wanted to help on a continent. But hold on, stop talking. It's not your turn. Just keep tasting that sweet potato pie on your breath. Relax. So we won't support, and then we don't push our governments to actually make the lot of Africans' lives easier where we can help. We can literally shut stuff down politically at home to at least run interference for Niger. We won't even do that. So you just proved that you're anti-African and you want to just be close to the white man. You love the white man, and you will never, ever, ever go at the white man on behalf of any African on this globe. We prove it all the time. So, and you talking about, oh, they starving, they gonna go hungry, they need this, they need that. They have a embassy, and they have elites that can talk to elites around the world and get stuff done. I'm not saying be like do anything for the Russians and Chinese and be ad hoc to them at all costs. I'm not saying that, but leverage and get what you need for your people, and they can do that. They can get the grain, they can get all that, but they need to start making sure they develop them systems on their stuff. That's all they got to do. So you saying all this, oh, it's gonna get hard. Look, another thing too that we don't like to realize, in that I think Africans need to. Hold on, I'm almost done. I'm gonna land the plane. We need to learn a little bit from white folks, where certain groups had that no effing attitude, like we're not gonna quit, even if it's our annihilation. We are not going to let our enemy get the best of us. So, and the last thing I'll say, the last point about Jude's point, about how African countries need to kind of get on the same page, and he kind of ranted a little bit and rambled about a few things, but he did have some pretty good points. And one of them is how a lot of African countries need to get on the same page, and they need to be more competent. The only thing I can think that can possibly bring that about, and if you guys know any history, they need a 30 years war. They need a 7 years war or something massive like that, because the outcome of the 30 years war was the treaty or the Peace of Westphalia, where there were standards of conduct between the different countries in Europe. They established embassies, international relations with each other, and they also made laws to where they started treating each other equally, no matter what the religion or what country they came from. And that started something great. So they were able to come over to the rest of the world and start whooping on y'all, ashy asses and everybody all over the world, because they realized there had to be standards. And right now there are no standards, and people backstab each other. They got to the table and said, yeah, go ahead.
Are you surprised that Zongo supported the French? I mean, he didn't say it directly. He danced around it, but we can put 2 and 2 together. And Ghana is sending troops in. So you think if Zongo was a Ghanaian soldier, he would be happy to go blast some rounds on those Nigerians against for Massa?
Well, see, he's kind of suffering from better to be with the devil you know than the devil you don't know. So they know what the French is about. They know what to expect. It's been happening for a while, but right now what's going on is unknown territory. Nobody knows what's going to happen in the future. Niger, Mali, Burkina Faso, they're taking the biggest gamble Africans have taken in, I don't know, a century or more. I don't know. You tell me, Afrodamus. So we're in unknown territory right now. A lot of people are scared. Even the white folks.
It's good to be in unknown territory.
Exactly.
It is. Make your way.
Exactly. And so that's why I think cowards like Zongo, when I say coward, not in the way I want to attack him, say he's a bad person, but it's just like, if you're all in on this, you need to be signing up and strapping the AK to your chest, sir, and putting on a uniform instead of having poor people from your country do it. That's what a lot of entitled people like to do. They like to go point and say, yeah, go fight the war, poor kid, and not really care about the consequences. So go sign up to the military, but I guarantee you won't do it. And I'll pass the mic.
All right. So let's have Infinity. Infinity, is your mic working now?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Infinity. Infinity, what is your take on this?
Yeah, see, this is what it is. The Ukraine-Russia war is about the oil, about the Nord Stream 2. They've blown up that stream. Within Nigeria have made a deal with the West. And the pipeline, the oil pipeline runs through Niger. This is why they're not defending the coup.
Yeah.
This is why they're not defending the coup. You can't have these people stealing resources and treating people like shit for centuries. You can't have it no more.
But how is Nigeria, if they're supporting the French, how do they, because I heard about Tinubu, they believe the pipeline, they want to run a pipeline from Nigeria to Europe. They're going to need, the Nigerian territory.
Yeah.
How do they expect, if they create bad blood between Niger and Nigeria, how do they expect that to work? Like, that pipeline will get blown up.
It's not going to work. See, it seems like you see the guys be brave and they're panicking. You got them in a checkmate position. They're panicking. That's what it is. That's what it is.
Why do you think he's saying Africans should wait till they can manufacture weapons? The weapons they already have is getting the job done.
They're trying to stall for time. They're trying to try all sorts of techniques. That's all it is. They try all sorts of techniques. They've been trying to do this for centuries. They're trying to hoodwink and stall people so they can buy for time to get their advantage. That's all it is.
Yeah, because I'm like, okay, let's check this out. What are these people supposed to do? Is clear they are being exploited. You got the French military. They're controlling them. What are they supposed to do other than what they are doing?
From what I know of 500 years of history, people being taken to slavery, gold being taken off of Africa at the same time. Can't have it no more.
Yeah.
You just can't have it no more. That's enough. Enough's enough, and that's the end of it.
Exactly. I mean, that's what I'm thinking too.
That's the end of it. You can't have no more. People like Zongo.
So what do you were saying? What Zongo was saying? What do you think about what Zongo said?
He's flip flopping, man. No, they are in a checkmate. The Europe and America are in a checkmate position. The Nord Stream 2 lines down. They try to go through Nigeria. He tries to do a financial deal. It's not working. They're panicking. That's all it is. They're panicking.
Yeah, and what do you think about what Brave said? Oh, he believes the French, basically French are letting the Africans win. You know, like I mean, like France is not letting Africans. Like that's like saying, oh, we're so powerful, we're just letting these blacks win.
No, they would like to strip Africa of everything. During the Trump era of his presidency, he was going to give black people over there 500 billion just for a start. The African countries, Francophone countries, were going to supply the black Americans 500 billion of raw resources a year, and it fell through. That would have been, in 15 years, that would have been $7 trillion. $7 trillion. We're trying to free people are trying to free themselves. It's an honorable thing, and that's it.
You know how much money they've spent so far, even just the US in military weapons in Niger. You know how much they've spent?
Yeah, they don't care.
$1.3 billion in just military hardware.
Yeah,
that's what is in Niger.
Yeah, they don't care. They don't mind spending $5.7 trillion. They don't care. It's like hellbent. In the Baltic Sea and the Black Sea, they're assembling fleets.
23 trillion.
Huh?
Oh, American. Yeah, you were saying American first, right?
Here's the deal when it comes to the white man and his military. There's been plenty of examples when things get hard, especially Americans, and we'll say the French too. We'll talk about Americans and French. They'll just get on their planes and get on their boats and sail away. They'll fly away and they'll sail away. The French in Dien Bien Phu, you saw what happened there. Them Asian people tore their asses up. They had all types of Africans and white people and Asians whipped all their asses, sent their asses home. And then the Americans, the Battle of Mogadishu, all the damn Somalis were freaking starving. They were literally starving and still had the freaking balls to get up. Like, here's the AK, here's the AK. Just keep going and keep shooting until they're dead. And that's all it takes.
Yes, yeah. You have to keep. General. You have to just keep. It's enough's enough. That's it. Enough's enough. Enough's enough.
Exactly.
Enough is not enough.
Zongo, you were gonna say something, Zongo. And King of Travel, I see you there. Welcome to the show.
For sure, man. What's good?
How you been?
Man, everything good, man. Just making it do what it do, man. I'm in Jamaica right now. I'll be in Africa next month.
Oh, man. What's in Jamaica?
Yeah, just in Jamaica, man, in the country, just kind of checking the area out a little bit. That's about it.
Awesome. All right. Let's see. TD said Gambia president is a puppet. Well, he is cozy with the French super puppet. I think I might agree with you on that, TD. Zongo, I saw you wanted to say something, Zongo.
Yeah, I overheard you guys making all forms of allegation against me that I'm
well, you are here, so that's why you can respond.
I'm espousing for France exploitation and
well, you were dancing around the the question.
But my opinion. What does my opinion? Does it really matter?
No, it does. It does. That's why we are asking.
I think what matters is what the people in the region actually want, right? If that's what they really want, okay, then what I'm saying is that they have to tread cautiously in trying to involve world uh, um, world powers into play, like between Russia and then the West into the region. That's what I'm saying. That's
But don't you think the French should be careful to tread cautiously? The French are the ones in a foreign territory. Why didn't you suggest that they should be the one being cautious?
I
They're the
mean,
one.
my opinion is based on what I've a little information that I got it from history, right? Like in Nkrumah, when he came to power, he was trumpeting
Yeah, but
same
you
thing,
guys,
right?
Ghanaians turned against Kruma. This is different.
Yeah, but it was Western influence. That's the point I'm trying to say. It was still Western influence.
Yeah, but the Ghanaians turned against him, though.
That's the point no, the point I'm saying it was a military, his own military turn against him.
Yeah, but
It was a
that's
coup.
what I'm saying. But you guys didn't have the British troops there. None of that. These people have actual physical French troops. They have French employees in the country. They control their banking system. So it's full-blown colonialism.
I mean, really, is that what you really think? That's what
No,
actually
not think.
going
That's what it is.
I,
That's
No, that's not what it
no,
is.
no, no. Hold on. For me, if you ask me, most countries, when most Western countries says they are protecting their interests, they're actually protecting their corporations in those regions. Yeah,
so
the
so
resources
so
that they
so
have
Zongo
in those
Zongo.
regions.
So just because they say that the people in that country, why should they respect that a foreign power coming in? Like, you're gonna let somebody come in your home
Yeah, but
and dictate to you and dictate terms to you? Is this what you're saying?
no, but what makes you think it was the French that dictated the terms to them? It was the Nigerian government at that time that invited them.
No, 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 no.
I mean, what
Zongo,
makes you
Zongo,
okay? I
Zongo.
mean, Afredamus,
Did
man.
you?
Even if
Okay,
even if
okay,
your
fine.
leader,
Let's say,
it's
okay,
just like
let's
hold
say
on,
the leader, they invited them. The
yeah.
people said the French have overstayed their welcome. The people,
Don't work like that.
the people said the French have overstayed their welcome. What do you say to that?
I mean, if they say they have overstayed their welcome, then they should leave if so be it, right?
Don't work like
You
that.
understand? But the thing is, you have to understand, like uranium mining, you deal with in a national market, right? You need to be part of the market, and you gotta tread cautiously, not to be excluded from the world powers. That's the point I'm trying
Yeah,
to say. The
but
point
that's
I'm
what they
trying to
are
say.
doing. That's what they are doing, though.
I mean, because like I mean, obviously, when Nigeria cut their power, they had to go to Russia to say they should help them to build a nuclear power plant so they can be able to manufacture electricity, right? To produce electricity, which is a good thing for them, right? It's just absolutely a good thing because the previous president wasn't smart enough to think about using their own uranium to produce their own electricity.
Zongo, let me ask you
Mhm.
a funny question here, crazy one. Do you think, let's say, there's a struggle in Cameroon, like Ambazonia, they want to be free from, the French oppression too, right?
French
Do you
occupation.
think what they are doing, taking up arms, fighting for their freedom, should they continue on or give up?
Or the people of Ambazonia,
Yes.
they should continue. I mean, they are fighting over colonial language. I mean, really. I don't find their struggle very, it's not very. I
Like
don't know.
it's
It's
not.
not very.
Are you saying it's not substantiated?
Yeah, it's not very inspiring to me as an African. Man, you fighting over colonial language? People are
No,
fighting for real.
it's far deeper than that.
Yeah, fighting for real identity. If you are fighting for your own identity as like as Ambazonia with your own identity,
But some
culture or something like that, I'm gonna respect that. But if fighting for English language, which belongs to another colonial master, come on.
wait, Judah, are you there?
Oh yes,
Judah, are
Afredamus.
you guys fighting for just a colonial language or for real
Yeah,
freedom?
for Damas, even yesterday I met a Cameroonian in Urban, and I mean he said he had families in Ambazonia and even in mainland Cameroon, and he doesn't espouse those conflict that goes on. He was saying they are the same people. They should just drop down like this colonial thing and just embrace their own identity, and just develop their language just to compete with the current time.
Alfredemo, do you see how I don't intervene? I don't talk when people talk. See, man, when people have low IQ on certain topics, it's rather unfortunate for them not to talk on those topics. I mean, he said mainland Cameroon. I'm appalled. I'm confused if there's an island Cameroon and there's a mainland.
What I
I mean,
mean,
it's a key.
what I actually mean is the part that are predominantly French. That's what I mean.
Right now, you met a francophone person that is telling you about this. Is the thing, Afridemos. If you don't wear the shoes, their shoe pinches, the person next to you might not know how serious your leg might be paining you till he put the same.
Judah, well,
Let me
from
finish.
the way you
Oh
speak,
man.
from the way you speak, sometimes I do see that you lack an experience of leadership, right? You speak like with emotion sometimes. You speak with emotion sometimes. You don't speak with substance. It doesn't work that way. If you want to rule people, you have to be substantive sometimes. You just don't say, "Oh, Africans, we have to unite." I mean, Afridamus is the same point.
Bro,
Same person saying
I'm not a Pan African, bro.
we have to unite on what basis?
I mean, who is talking, Afidemos? Am I talking or am I getting intervened when I talk?
Hold on, Zongo, let him finish. Go ahead.
I was the one talking and you interrupted, actually.
No, I did not. Afidemos called my attention and I had to come in and say something. Oh, okay. Afidemos, this is what I was saying, right? See, someone is coming out here and out of a sudden, and talking about how Ambazonians are fighting a language a problem. Look, Afidemos, what is a language? A guy that is speaking colonial language, English, who is fighting by all means to speak this language, want to deprive other Africans not to speak the same. I mean, even if they fight for colonial language, and you are speaking the same language, what makes you any different? You fought for it, and now the white man gave it to you on a silver platter. Come on, man. Can someone mute, please?
Y'all missing the whole point. Y'all missing a point.
Look, man. Bro, let me finish. Let me finish making my statement. No, I'm not gonna hold on. Let me finish, man.
Infinity got a mute. That's what I'm saying. You have to.
Oh yeah.
It's Infinity mute.
All right.
Go ahead.
Oh man. I mean, do you have to lecture people on when to mute if they are not talking? Come on, man. Look, you see, you have people that speak English. The white man gave them independence and English language through a silver platter. So they have never fought for it. And they are contented speaking that language wherever they go. I speak 5 tribal languages in my country. I speak it. Hands down. I speak that language. But at the same time, you cannot deprive other people from defending their own language that they want everybody to understand, because that is language where they do business with. Now, if you have fought and gained a silver platter, English allow people to also have the same dignity and gain that language. Now, when it comes to what is happening in Cameroon, it's not just a colonial language they are fighting for. They are fighting for a system. It's 2 countries that came together, one under the British system law and one under the French system law. In my own country, as an English person, if I move to the other side, I get, if I commit a crime, I get captured by gendarmes. I mean, English laws, it doesn't work like that. If you understand, you from Ghana, you guys practice common law. It's like you get arrested in Ghana and being sent to Togo to be tried under a French law that you are not used to it. That is what comes in mind. So you have no clue about what is happening. Togolese and Ghanaians are the same people, but they are not forming the same country. Ivory Coast and Ghanaians are the same people. They speak one tribal language, but are they forming the same country? No. Why are you divided? It's because of colonial languages that you call yourself Ghana and the Ivory Coast call themselves Ivory Coast. They speak French, they speak English. You prefer calling Nigerians your brother because you guys speak one colonial language instead of Ivorians, because you say they speak French. So you guys don't understand their colonial language. And that is a problem all over the continent. And this is why I have a problem with Africans, because most of the time they have plugs in their eyes. They don't see the problems that their own communities and countries are facing. They want to come out and pull out the plugs from other people's eyes, but they are all facing the same problems. I'm always going to cut it short because I know there's a lot of people on the panel that have to talk. And after them, I'm going to leave the floor to someone.
Thank you for
It's a
that.
big
We
point
have
y'all missing.
now, Turner. You say what?
It's a big point that y'all missing.
What
And
point is
this
that?
will open all your eyes. If you look at ECOWAS, if you look at Nigeria,
Do you think ECOWAS and Nigeria are puppets of the French? They are tap dancing.
no, but I tell you, okay, you can say that, but I'm gonna
No,
say this
I'm
about,
asking you.
okay.
Are you supporting their move?
No, I'm not supporting that move, but I'm going to make a statement about
Now,
something that
Turner,
none of y'all
I
think.
knew it. I knew you supported
No, I said
the
no. But I gotta
colonialists.
make
I
this
knew
statement,
it.
Mr. Afrikaner. Can I make this statement? Because it
Okay,
ain't
go
like
ahead.
that.
Go ahead.
If you look at a map, ECOWAS got all. They're not landlocked.
Not
Nigeria,
all of them.
no, not all of them, but Nigeria got a big coast. That means what? Shipping. You cannot be a first world country without shipping. For them to get shipping, they got to go to those countries, Nigeria and all that. They had to go through them. Without shipping, you cannot be a first world country.
Okay, now Turner, you see Nigeria right here.
Yeah.
See, okay, so all these countries here.
Coast. They got a coast.
Yeah, but all these other countries got coast. Gambia got coast. Cape Verde.
How can this guy be dumb?
That's
European
great.
countries are
All the
landlocked,
ones
but they are
on
first world
the
countries.
edge are great.
Switzerland
But the
is a
other ones
landlocked
are
country,
landlocked.
but it's a first world country. It don't matter if you are landlocked or not. You can be a landlocked
Yes,
and
it
be a
does
first world
matter.
country.
Yes,
What is
it
this guy
does.
talking about?
If
Switzerland
you
is a
don't got
landlocked
shipping,
country.
you
How
cannot
come
be a
Switzerland is
first
a
world
first world
country.
country?
That's a fact.
Guys, one at a time. One at a time.
Judy, I think what Nat Turner is saying, he has a valid point. See,
No, he doesn't have.
hold
He
on,
has a
listen.
Hold
valid
on,
point
Judah,
because
Judah,
it's
let
an
him
African
speak.
continent.
That's why I don't know.
It doesn't make
Judah.
sense when you are a European country. How does it make sense
Geography
when you're in
matters.
Africa?
Hold on, Judah. Hold on.
Geography matters.
Judah,
Hold on,
if you
Judah.
understand
In
trade,
war,
if you
in
understand
economics,
trade, if you understand
geography
economic
matters.
Hold on, Nat
trade,
Turner. Nat Turner, hold on. Go ahead, Zongo.
if you understand economic trade, having a coastal area plays a huge part in your economic progress.
Exactly, but does that stop you from developing? Switzerland, how is
The
Switzerland a
point
first
I'm
world
saying is
country?
that they maintain a very good relationship with their neighbors that have coastal regions. I mean, let's say like presumably if those the Niger, Burkina, and Mali decide not to deal with ECOWAS, maybe they want to deal with Gambia. I mean, if they want to communicate with Guinea, which have a coastal region, I mean, is it worth it to go through a long distance rather than coming through like maybe Nigeria,
Bro,
Cameroonian, or
sometimes you
something
talk.
like
Let
that?
me give you another instance. There's a landlocked country called Botswana. Is countries that have coast, are they far better off than Botswana?
Yeah, cause goose have to come through the coast
Of
before they get
course,
to
good
that
has to
region.
come in, but is that a
Yeah, so
greatest problem of development when it comes?
yes,
That
Come
gives
on,
you
man.
power.
it's a great
That gives you power.
it's a great impediment
Having
to
a
No, it's
coast
progress
not.
if
gives
It's
they don't
not.
you
I've
control.
given you
power.
European
If you're
landlocked countries
landlocked,
that are
you're
landlocked
begging
and
the other
FIFA
country.
developed. That is not a valid point. Go ahead.
Hold on. Let me read this. J-Nom, thank you for the super chat. J-Nom said, Anglophone African countries are easier to live in for a reason. Francophone African countries are still under colonial rule. You see, Zongo, you hear that? Thank you for the super chat. You see what J-Nom wrote here?
Afidamas.
That's what I was trying to explain.
Afidamas. I'm not against who is wrong or wrong. I'm saying they have to tread cautiously. I want them to
But
succeed. Just like any other
what
country,
you don't
right?
want them to piss off
I'm
French
saying I'm not saying
French
piss.
Zaddy?
I'm saying
Are you trying to protect the feelings of French Zaddy?
that's. I mean,
There you go.
militarily, I mean, they are stronger than we are. I mean, Afidamas, if you want to be realistic, like you say, you live in America, you go to.
I can do some shuffling too. Look out, man, what you gonna do? Look out, boys, it's coming through. Yeah, man, yeah, man.
Please, I don't want to laugh. Please, I don't want to laugh. Please.
Go ahead.
I'm beginning to realize that is this English countries in Africa that are selling out Africans for. You remember when Macron came in power, his first African visit was in Nigeria. He went there to
Yes.
create businesses.
Yes,
That's
the
to tell you
Gambian
that
president, our Gambian president also went to France, and
exactly.
Tinubu also.
Tinubu,
So
his first visit to
yeah,
Yogo after being
I don't
president.
know. So
Exactly.
you might be onto something here, Jude.
Tinubu first president after becoming president of Nigeria, he wasn't even visiting his neighboring countries like Cameroon. He visited France to pay tribute to
Yeah.
France. That is to tell you that there is a problem in Africa. I mean, with all this divided mindset, people like Zongo that I thought has a certain level of education comes in as a low rank and file, in a French, a house of assembly tells me that, man, Africa is doomed.
But
We
why
are
you
just
gonna call Zongo a low rank and file in the House of
come on,
Assembly?
come on, man. Like, I mean, these guys sometimes come up like a top notch, but sometimes, man,
But
his level of reasoning on the Africa is just totally off.
He's
Come
entitled.
on,
He's
man.
entitled to his
Of
views,
course,
though.
he's
It's
entitled.
wrong
But when I
views.
told you that when Europeans sat down on the table to divide Africa, everyone accepted and signed that paper. Now, when it comes to for Africa to fight for their freedom, one has to tell you, hey, they have to, they have to make excuse. Come on, man, bro. Look,
Afridamus,
I'm done, man.
Afridamus,
It's
Go
very
ahead.
stabbing.
Afridamus. Do you know why? Do you know why some people have like they used to say, they say they have entitled of their views? It's because some people do that thing because they are from distance. They can easily do that on their phones.
They
Because
what?
you cannot be where people really want change. People want a better change in Africa, and you're thinking going in a different direction. I say you're entitled of your view. It's because you're far away and you're doing that on your phone. Because you're presently among where radical people are. Bro, you might lose your eye or lose your life. So this thing that people are entitled of their views, I don't really buy that.
Okay,
It's just because
well, that's why you have the opportunity to respond. So Tidi, let me ask you. So, what is your take on what is happening in Niger? Do you think Nigeria, Tinubu, and ECOWAS are they promote whose agenda are they pushing? French colonialism of those countries or African agenda? Which one is it? And should Niger, and do you support the coup in Niger? Go ahead.
oh, bro, you heard our interaction last time. You saw where I was coming from. I support if it can happen all over Africa. I'll be very happy. I wonder the next coup should be taking place in English Africa on the purpose that these coup leaders are planning to unite the continent. Yeah, but for at least something has to start somewhere. I support it 120%. I support it. Okay.
So even you want Paul Biya to be removed by coup d'etat?
If Cameroonians could have been radical, I love what Burkina Faso are doing. I love the mindset of these people. See, Africans are different when it comes to their mindset. It's like Islamic really righteously put our people from Burkina Faso, Mali, it's like it really put them on the right track. What Christianity have done to some of our people, in short, in West Africa, Cameroon, all over where there is Christianity, what Christianity have done to our people. Sometimes I love the way Islam is, because it really helps them. They don't bind themselves with evil. You can manipulate them just for a little while, but when they get up, they'll get up. But not with Christians. You can see this thing can go on with Ghana, Nigeria, Cameroon, all these Christian nations. It can go on there forever, and nobody would. If you go there in these countries, Cote d'Ivoire, Senegal, Cameroon, Congo, Gabon, Equatorial Guinea, you go to these countries, the citizens in these countries behave exactly like their leaders. If their leaders is pro-France, they are pro-France. Cote d'Ivoire the same. It's not like it's only Ouattara. It goes down to the citizens too. Cameroon, the same thing. Paul Biya is there 42 years. The citizen want him there. So we English is different from French. No matter how what one of our name is
You know why? You know why? You know why?
No.
Because the French, the places they colonize, what they do is they go hard. They change the culture of those people. It's like they want to assimilation. You see what I'm saying? They assimilate the people. So this is why you see some of these French speaking people, especially you meet some of these people from, let's say, Ivory Coast. Those people, when they speak, not all, but most, you wonder if they are French or they are Africans. Their mindset is nothing like
like Africa.
Yeah,
Nothing.
and even like some Senegalese, for some reason they are like the French blacks.
Do you know that France has a very upper hand in Nigeria than Britain? When I noticed that, I was like, wow. It is a British colony. How come France has so much control the petroleum there, almost everything, and even linked to Boko Haram when the uprising in northern Nigeria and even some southern Nigeria came together and said France are the ones behind Boko Haram. I was like surprised how the Britain. That's why you come to realize that all the Westerners, they're all the same. When they are in those that Freemasons, they think the same. They are for the worshiping of Luciferic God, the Lucifer God. That's why they pay their homage to. But I would say
what do you think about what Zongo said about? He said he's not very inspired by the war in Amazonia because you're fighting to speak a white man's language. So that's not really
He is naive. I would say that he's very naive. When what my other brother from Cameroon was trying to tell him, if the shoe does not pinch you, you will not understand how the other person is feeling. This is a precedent. Most African countries have had. Let me just explain this short story to you. Short history, not story. Cameroon, all African countries almost have their independence on the same time. 60 years of independence. There have never been an English Saudi Cameroonian who have been a president in Cameroon. And the first one was Amadou Ahidjo, who ruled for a while, maybe 20 years. Then Paul Biya took over.
But you guys only have two presidents ever.
Spoken even in English. Even in English, you have never addressed the nation even in English. So you can imagine the marginalization. Even in Commonwealth, that Cameroon is part of Commonwealth because of us, South Cameroon, because we speak English and we have a connection with Britain. That's why French Cameroon is in Commonwealth.
Wait, Didi, are you guys in you guys are in Commonwealth?
All these things.
Oh yes, Cameroon is in Commonwealth, man. What are you talking about? Cameroon is in Commonwealth.
I didn't know that.
Oh, come on, man. Cameroon has been in Commonwealth. Come on, bro. Cameroon is an English country, bro. It's an English country.
Okay, hold on, guys. Hold on.
Under 70, under 31, all from the south.
Didi, hold on. Didi, hold on. Let me read this.
Hello.
Didi, let me read this super chat, guys. Please calm down. Let me read this. Is he still talking?
Didi's not listening.
That's not Judas. That's Didi. Didi.
Who's calling Judas, man? Have I bespoken? I mean, come on, man. Like, please stop, man. Please don't call my name, man.
Hold on. Let me read this, okay? G Black, thank you for the super chat. He said, may the British Queen rest in peace. Thank you for the super chat. You mean Queen Elizabeth, the greatest British Queen. May the British Queen Elizabeth rest in peace. Thank you for that super chat. In what?
Afrodamus, you
When
know.
I was talking, the other person who was talking, I don't know.
Hold on. Zongo, you said
calm
what?
down, TT, calm down, man. Come on, man.
Calm down,
What is
TT.
it, Judah?
May the British Queen rest in peace.
What is it?
Titi, when you
Hold on.
talk, you have to learn how to listen to the host sometimes, right?
What is going on?
I said when you talk, you have to learn.
Man,
What is
calm
going
down,
on with
man.
bunch of emotional people? I was talking, I haven't learned. So you it's quiet for me to learn. He was talking.
Hey, let him talk.
Didi, your audio is messed up.
Can I speak?
Go ahead.
Hey, but this is, you TT keeps speaking about Cameroon and the colonial times, but it's about taking commodities of the
Maybe
continent.
Judah is only from South
Hold on, Didi, let me talk. Didi.
Hey, TT, yeah, it's about taking commodities of the land of Africa from the days of slavery, from when it first started. It's just constant. Doesn't matter how the demographics or the geography on the countries change. It's just constantly going on, and that has to stop.
This is true, and you know what? I know what. Like principle.
There's the Columbus when they was taking black people to Portugal and Spain. It's been going on. Don't make things complicated. A lot of things what that guy Putin is saying is the actual truth, man. Zongo, you're flip-flopping, man. You're flip-flopping.
Yeah,
You shouldn't
Zongo,
be scared.
Zongo, man, Zongo has
I
format,
got a
man.
problem with the military. When
I'm
you
not
talk about the military,
Infinity, I'm not
I got a
flip-flopping.
problem
Why
with
do you think I'm
Zongo is a flip-flopper.
Infinity? Why do you think I'm flip-flopping? Why do you think
Oh,
so?
come on, man.
You're just all over the place. It's
Exactly.
like I can think.
Africa has not been to that point where we need to start chopping off their heads.
Wait, Didi, you say what?
People like that, they need to chop off their head for Africa to proceed, for black people to proceed ahead. People like that, they need to chop off their head.
And this is the very reason why military rule shouldn't be tolerated in these regions, because people like TD are going to sabotage the views and opinions of certain groups who are also citizens of that region, right? I mean, come on. I mean, is that
foreign countries they have to have military. What are you talking about?
So why should we keep on listening to you?
No, I said military rule. I said military rule.
They have to protect their people.
I'm saying
They're doing
military
business
rule.
over there.
Hold on. I mean,
They have to have military. Y'all crazy.
No,
they got to have protection.
No,
they
what I'm
bring a team of scientists, engineers, professionals over there in them businesses. They have to have militaries in them countries.
Hold on. Let me ask this question, Judah.
What is Santana talking about?
Hold on, Judah.
What are you talking about, China?
Judah, are you surprised? Judah, are you surprised that Nat Turner is supporting the colonialists? Is he like, because he always talks about white supremacy?
What are you talking about colonialists? You live in a colonial country.
You
live in America. What are you talking about?
Affidemos, have you realized that these people, most of these they are FBS or the Pan Africans and Black Americans. Have you realized that ever since Africans are fighting to run away from the white man, these guys have not even, unite their forces? I'm talking about the Black American. Who's speaking Affidemos?
Let him speak, Nat Turner.
These Black Americans have not united to even go on the continent and fight against the white man. Let me tell you, the Black Americans are the weakest. The Black Americans are the weakest group of blacks as a whole.
Yeah, right. That's why you run here, right?
Hold on, Nat Turner. You have the chance.
Weakest group.
Black Americans have never fought.
The most
Black
talented
Americans,
blacks, the smartest blacks in the world.
Affidemos. When other blacks around the world were fighting for independence, Black Americans have never fought for anything. Matter of fact, the only thing they fought for was civil rights movement and to fight for segregation, where they had to unite with the white man to consume the kind of good the white man was consuming. They wanted to go to white restaurants and be with white women. That was their major problems that they were facing because they weren't having all these things. Black Americans have never been able to fight for anything in their whole life. So when I see somebody like Nat Turner talking about how Africans shouldn't fight, they should align, it tells me that these are people that still have their biblical how you call it?
You mean you mean the umbilical cord? The umbilical cord?
Umbilical cord attached to the attached to the white man in such a way where they take water and food from the white. They take lessons from the white man, so they believe that the white man is still an autonomous. In Africa. So that is a problem. These people cannot be telling us Africans what to do. I'm talking about us on the continent. They have no clue about what being free is. They have never experienced freedom.
But not Turner and Judah.
We have to expect it,
But Judah,
go ahead, man.
Judah, at least he knows what he's talking about. Him and Zongo on the same page, and Zongo is from Africa.
Come on. I mean, sometimes, man, you shouldn't take these people serious. A matter of fact, matter of fact, the way they come across sometimes, it really tells me most of the time they pander to the white man. They see the white man as still being superior over them. Me, as I speak, I'm a Bantu supremacist. I believe that we, the blacks, can also do it like the white man. We can beat the top. Instead of the white man, instead of us calling, let me finish, man. Instead of the blacks or Africans calling for the white man for lessons, the white man should be calling Africans to take lessons from them. The white man should be calling us to intervene in their wars instead of us calling them to intervene in Africa. Come on, man. We shouldn't be the underdog all the time, bro. We shouldn't be the. Let me finish, man. Please don't intervene till I finish, then you can go ahead with your question. We shouldn't be the underdogs all the time. At one point in time, we should be the main dog and call shot the way it appears. Instead of the white man calling shot in Africa, we should be calling the shot in Europe and America. We should intervene in their own wars when they intervene, when they do all this nonsense. We should, matter of fact, man, why is Africa not creating their own international monetary fund and call them African Monetary Fund, African banks? Why not interact? I saw the bank of the World Bank just banned giving loans to Uganda because they signed the LGBT. It makes no sense. Why do we depend on all these things that it has not helped Africans since 60 years of independence? We should create our own things that will help Africa, man. Why are we so myopic and Afidemos? Let someone go ahead and talk, man. I'm just tired, bro. This is what I'm unfortunate.
Afidemos, do you know why the international way is behaving as if there's no genocide going on in Southern Cameroon?
What?
Do you know why the international way or the United Nations is acting as if there's no genocide going on in Southern Cameroon?
Why?
You see how people from Southern Cameroon reason. We're reasoning for the unity of Africa, but the betterment of black people. Like the other guy they're talking. You can get the spirit of Africa talking from Southern Cameroon, bro. But you will not see French Cameroon talk. We are two different people. Two different people. They want to remain with France forever, but we don't want it. We are not France. France has never colonized us. So why should we be listening to somebody who was colonized by France and they want to stay with France forever? So want to leave so that they can remain with France forever. So what's the problem? Where somebody say we are separating ourselves for language because of language. The same language why is here on the planet. If not of the language, who would have then come and talk his dialect. I believe that Zongo will probably be from Francophone Cameroon.
No, Zongo is from Ghana.
I'm not sure. Ghana don't bear the name Zongo. He's from Francophone Cameroon.
Zongo, are you Francophone, Zongo?
I mean, Zongo is an Hausa term, means like a community. It's widespread West Africa, so that's understandable.
He's from French Cameroon.
No, I'm not. I'm from Ghana.
He's from French Cameroon. Ghana is just lying. Ghana don't bear that name Zongo. But no, a lot of French Cameroon will bear that name Zongo.
Maybe that's why Zongo secretly supports the French.
He's supporting them. We know them. The name Zongo, that name is French Cameroon name. French Cameroon name.
Yeah, but Zongo is not a name; it's a name of a community, though. It's not a name actually. It's a name of a
So
community.
when they travel to Canada, when they
Just
travel
Google
to
Zongo.
America and Britain, don't expect them to speak French. They'll speak very good English, even more than Saudi Cameroonians when they are abroad in these English countries. They'll speak perfect English. I mean the Francophones. You even think maybe it's from, if they say they're from Cameroon, you think maybe they are from English Cameroon. No. Some of them, when they travel to an English country, they speak perfect English. So, the war, like I was saying last time, the war in the...
See, the thing is...
Titi, now state you day. How far? Which state you
Let me
day?
make a comment. No, this is not a Cameroonian.
You don't, Titi, you don't side.
Hey, please.
No, let me. Hey, Titi, you don't side. Which side you dey, boy?
Columbus, Ohio.
Oh, you dey Ohio, eh? Ah, no, I'll check you out, man. What's up? Are they Utah? What's up? What rap?
Yeah, I know you plenty time talk about that Utah. Utah,
oh, yeah, Utah boy.
I don't know if you did Utah, the white people that stay that no, right?
Matter, if this safe, man go do Jolly water or rap after boy.
Okay.
See,
okay, guys, please don't make Zongo jealous, please.
Afridamus. See, now Tena made
Afridamus, that is pidgin. When Ghanaians say they speak pidgin, right? I don't think they understand pidgin. That is pidgin.
This is an opportunity for Black Americans to show their solidarity to Africa. But look at them, they are quiet. They're always on social media for the wrong things. This is where
I'm American.
Nigerians.
Hold on, guys. Hold on, guys. Hey, Zongo. Are you surprised to hear Jude? Pretty much, he's suggesting that Black Americans come and fight for them in Africa. Are you surprised?
I said solidarity, please.
No. Hold on. Let Zongo speak. Zongo, are you surprised to, because he said they are weak, but he wants them to come and fight.
No, not weak.
No, Jude, hold on, Jude. Hold on, Jude. Let him talk. No, hold on, Jude.
Only take opportunity. Only when Africans are fought.
Hold on, Jude.
But they are scared to come to the war front to fight for other Africans. That was what I was saying. They only take opportunity when Africans are defeated the white man. And come and live and enjoy it. But they are scared to fight. That was my thing. That was what I said.
Okay, never mind.
I mean, Judah
I'm not telling you the U.S. military.
I mean, Judah
pretends. The hell y'all talking about?
I mean, Judah pretends sometimes that he respected his time, but when he gets triggered, he starts interfering, right? I mean, the point is, we all know Judah is a walking contradiction. He's a walking contradiction. Today he says this, tomorrow he said otherwise, right? So nobody actually take him seriously. So I mean, come on. I mean, you saying that I'm jealous about whatever he was saying with TT. I mean, that's not the topic at hand. Afridamus. Niger has uranium, right?
Right. And gold.
Right? China wasn't lying. I mean, we don't have the technology. We don't have like a power like this. Not necessarily like the West advanced countries. It could be Japan or it could be.
Well, they can learn.
Exactly right.
I mean, to learn.
The important thing at hand is that those countries in those regions, including maybe Ghana, we have to learn so we can reach that power, that level. And like Big Brave was saying, that they have to build their infrastructure militarily in order to compete on that level. I mean, he wasn't lying about what he said. He wasn't lying. The point I'm saying that we shouldn't be caught up in the state of euphoria. Do
you think that's what's happening, Zongo?
Yes, that's what is happening actually.
Okay.
Everybody is just just happy. I mean, but what reality actually kicks in, is going to be way different. The expectation.
So Zongo, do you think they're going to be begging the French again?
I mean, my hope is that the citizens are not expecting that throwing the French away will ultimately result them in making huge sums of money.
They'll come crawling back.
That's what I'm hoping they are not think. They shouldn't think that way. Actually,
But why not? Hold on, let me read this. G Black, thank you for the super chat. He said, Zongo is a Muslim neighborhood enclave in many countries, Benin, Republic, Togo. Thank you for the super chat. And Mimi said, Mimi, thank you for the super chat.
He's
Mimi
right,
said, Afridamos, let other people speak. The Cameroonians are controlling your panel. I think Mimi, the Cameroonians on here are oppressed. Why are you trying to take their freedom of speech, Mimi? Why are you trying to shut down the Cameroonians, Mimi? Mimi is such a Gambian oppressor. Why is this English speakers trying to oppress the oppressed people? Is this like are the English speaking Africans have they taken the spirit of their white oppressors? Now they are the British, they are the black British. Look at Nigeria trying to oppress Niger. Zongo is from Ghana, English speaking. He's such an oppressor. The language Zongo is using here. I'm like, Jesus, is this the white man? Is Zongo a white man? Go ahead, Zongo.
You living in a white man country?
And not
young guy was killed.
You living in a white man country?
You know, not Turner.
That young guy was killed in 2018 in Cameroon in the war.
Yeah,
he was a pastor.
What?
He was shot by the military.
Wait, not Turner. Earlier you said, when I said those African sellouts, those leaders, they said they get their medical from the white hospitals, and you said
you do too. Ain't no African hospitals here.
So why are you snitching on me, Naton? I'm not even a president.
I've been here when it was no hospitals.
So I do go. Look, just so you know, I go to African hospitals. Okay, just so you know, because
I go over to Africa and then come back here. Come on, man. You go to the hospitals over here. I looked at your records. I looked at your charts.
Okay, fine. You know what? But those people are presidents.
This phenomenon is no new. Like
Go over here with the white man stuff. Ain't that what you say?
Yeah.
You ain't built nothing. You ain't
look, not Turner. Why you gotta tell on me? This is not. We're talking about those sellouts.
You don't have an American story.
Look,
you have a Canadian story.
Look, I have an American story. I have an American story. But why you so you know what? Now, Naton, I know you are truly for this. Guys, have you noticed Naton's true color came out today? He is for the white French man. You see, he's over here.
I'm not French.
Then why are you supporting the French?
One thing about the French.
You're one of the French blacks.
They helped us in the First World War and Second World War.
Oh, so that's why you supporting the French. So you're gonna support the French against the Africans. I see. American First Rifleman. What do you gotta say to your brother?
I get my money from America. I never got a penny from Africa.
Hold on, American First. We can hear you.
Okay, sorry. I'm talking about Nat Turner, Fat Turner. He needs to shut up. For one, we went and helped the French in World War I.
No we. You a cosplaying. You ain't from here.
Okay,
you stop that. You got phony cosplaying.
You ain't from here.
He's FBA.
We know our people. Listen, the stuff you say is so off. You ain't from here. Stop cosplaying.
Now not look like somebody
from
Gambia.
Immigration office, I bet your picture in there. I bet you got filed in the immigration office.
I just hope Niger doesn't become the ground for the proxy war between.
I guarantee you got to file in the immigration office,
just like it is happening in the
immigration office. Looking at you,
in Ukraine.
Yeah, look at that phone.
Hold on, guys. Let's do our closing statements. We are towards the end. American Force, we can't hear you, man.
Can I go first, please?
Go ahead. We can't hear you. Go ahead.
You can or you can't?
We can now.
Okay, sorry about that. I'm just yelling over Cameroonians and recommendational butt-broken Americans. Sweet potato pie on their damn breath. And Master gave him an extra piece of poke last night. But anyway, how's that extra piece of poke, Nat Turner? You good?
Stop having them sunglasses and hot. The immigration officer see you, right? You
I'll do my.
caught me. Your immigration agent know you faking. You ain't
Okay.
fooling me.
Okay. Okay. Well,
Listen, man.
you voted
My
for Joe
friends
Biden.
in the 1600s. I can tell a fake when I see one.
Okay, Blackie, relax. Here's the deal. Jude, you're not a Bantu supremacist. You're in Utah. Chill out, fall back. If Bantus were so supremacists, you'd be with them, but you're not. You're here with me. Okay,
I'm not here with you.
You're an
You about to
immigrant.
be deported. As soon as them Republicans get in there,
Nat Turner,
they
you'll
about to
get
throw you back out of here. Send you back to the hellhole you came from. Get your spirit ready.
All right, American Rifleman. Is that what you wanted to say?
And go back to your bushmeat.
Let the pig talk.
How do monkey taste?
Oh, jeez. Thank you, American First Rifleman. Thank you. All right, Nat Turner. Closing statement. What you want to say? What you want to say to white French Zaddy? Tu parlez-vous français? You want to say this in French? If you want to say this in French, I can help you.
Now speak French. We United States is French helped us out, but I'm American. I'm American all the way through. Let me say this: y'all ain't gonna do without the West. Y'all can't do without the West. Y'all tied to the West. The money from the remittances that y'all send back is more than the goddamn Nigerian economy. They'll tell you that 70% of that money, 70 to 80% of the money they use is from remittances. And the ones y'all rip off from your families move over here. Y'all supposed to be building houses and shit, but y'all stealing the damn money. Most of that money getting stolen by the families and all that. You know, so y'all talk about what y'all gonna do about the West. Don't make me laugh.
Well,
and y'all talking about fighting the French. Come on, man. They can see y'all in planes. They're turning the plane in the sky. I know the United States be hitting people, hitting them terrorists from planes. They don't even see the damn plane.
You know, like Nat Turner, somebody ordered the stanky leg for you, so we'll give you the stanky leg before you
I
exit.
love tap dances. American art form.
You got the stanky.
American Hollywood always.
That's for Nat Turner for dancing for White Zaddy on the street. Thank you, Nat Turner, for
take care, champ.
Thank you. We'll see you. All right, that was Nat Turner. He got the stanky leg for jumping for White Zaddy. TD, closing statement, TD.
Yeah, we don't need to stand in solidarity with our brother in Niger. We are praying that it should spread like wildfire all over Africa. We want to see the coup happening everywhere in Africa. In Kenya, where the other guy there is posting like a pan-Africanist, which is just a motivational speaker. We want it to happen in Kenya, Uganda, everywhere in Africa. These people need to go. They need to go.
Yeah. Thank you, TD. Thank you, TD. All right, we have Infinity closing statement. Infinity.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear.
This is a message to black people in America. Stop voting for these Democrat people. They are demons. They're causing carnage on planet Earth now. For black people especially.
Yep.
They mean you no good. They mean black people on Earth no good either.
This is true. You are absolutely 100% correct.
It's there. They are enemies.
That's it. Right. Thank you, Infinity. Thank you for coming in. All right. I got Zongo. Zongo, you are here with my co-host, but Zongo, you have the closing statement too. Zongo, go ahead. Zongo, hold on, Zongo. Before you go, somebody requested for me to play a song for you before you come in. They want me to give you the stanky leg too. Zongo, you got this stanky leg too. But go ahead, Zongo.
So,
So somebody, Zongo, they requested it for you, but go ahead.
I'm cooning. So I'm cooning now, right?
No,
I mean,
I mean, the audience, they like to, request stuff,
I mean, Afrodamas, man. I
I
mean,
mean, you know how it goes up here.
I'm a little wary about military rule. I'm not against whatever the people want in the country, but I'm a little wary about military rule. You know, I like to be in a country whereby you have your own free will to express your opinions. Your views or points wouldn't be sabotaged. Especially if you want to thrive. You should be in a society that should allow different views to thrive, right?
Yeah.
The case of Niger, Burkina, and other regions, like I'm saying, they have to tread cautiously. I don't want the region to be a ground for a proxy war between the West and Russia, just like it's happening in Ukraine. I mean that's how I'm looking at it. Because I mean, the interest of the people in the region has to be the heart of the revolution in those countries so that they can be able to find actually real results on the ground. And the people, they shouldn't be
And you're saying the people, they need to get paid too, right?
they shouldn't just have high expectation that maybe the uranium is going to give them a bunch of wealth and they're going to live like the people in Dubai.
Well, I mean, I better write to the French, Macron, if they're looking for a media person. The Afridamus report will be here. But go ahead, Zongo.
I mean, Africa, not necessarily they have to go to the West all the time. They have Japan. They have other countries that they have technology.
But that's what they are trying to do. But some people just somehow think Niger should just take it. But okay.
But Africa, like geopolitics. This advanced countries with military strength, they're always going to protect their interests. France have 70% of their electricity coming from nuclear power, and the majority of them, I mean, I think they get it from Nigeria. They're going to protect their interests, and Europe, West is going to.
But they are stealing it. That's the problem.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know the trade terms and conditions, but from the way the people are saying, yes. I mean, Afridamas, even the oil and gas in Ghana. Do you know how many percentage Ghana gets from the oil in Ghana?
Well, Zongo, that's because Ghana is weak. Okay, Pan-Africanists too said, he said, wow, the Afridamus report, you're going to work for the French. You see, I knew it. This is a FBA type. He's been waiting this whole show, everything he's been waiting for is to hear Afridamus say he's going to work for the French. No, sir, I am not going to work for the French, trying to get me to be one of the coons. You better stop with that. You better leave. We know who's got that job. So don't count me in. I'm gonna be on the African side over here, not the French side. But go ahead, Zongo.
If you don't use your money to invest in mining those resources, other people are going to do that for you, and they have to make their profits from that. And that's how the business goes, right? I mean, the people shouldn't have high expectation. If they are moving the ones with the technology, they should better find new ones with the technology that they're gonna, make money from it. Decent amount of money.
Thank you, Zongo. Zongo, the colonialists would definitely love you. they really love your advice you're giving to Africans. Yeah, I mean, they would love you.
Afterdamus, all of you guys are just in a state of euphoria. Let's give this, coup a matter of time, and we come back and have a better conversation about this topic.
But what do you think will happen, though?
I mean, no progress, even if they leave, because they don't have the technology to mine their resources.
So they should let the French rule?
No, but the point I'm trying to say is that instead of blaming France, they have
no, they're not blaming them. They're kicking them out. They gave them, in fact, they gave the French the restraining order. The judge have signed it. And in fact, they said, wherever you see a French person walking around in the black neighborhood, call 1-800-Negro.
Oh, okay, that's good.
Call 1-800-Negro and report that Frenchman. That means they are in a completely different area. So you see, Zongo, somebody say this is called Ghana babbling. So Zongo, what you are saying is, we heard you. You said, the white man is powerful. The African don't have good military. The French are going to win. Well, I think the Africans should continue to take the chance. But you know what? I'm open to what you're saying. We're going to, give them a chance and see how they do in the
Well, in a year or 2 years from now, I'm still gonna
yeah.
be over. I'm still gonna be over here, and we're gonna have a similar conversation. Whether the
No
coup,
problem.
with a coup in Niger, whether there's gonna be a significant progress in terms of economic development in their country or not. So,
Or maybe they can transition to another type of government. But thank you, Zongo.
but it's not gonna equate into wealth. There's still new technology and education in their
Well,
region.
yeah, they got a long way to go. They gotta walk
Exactly.
there.
That's
It's
the
not
point
gonna
I'm trying
be.
to say.
It's not. This is the start, right?
Exactly. Okay. That's the point I'm trying to say. It's not gonna equate to wealth in the region. That's the point I'm saying.
Well, thank you for hating on them, Zongo. Thanks. Thank you. Thank you. All right, we have Kaizorian. Kaizorian, you just get in, but I'll give you time to close into Kaizorian. What do you want to say about Nigerian situation there with the French? Do you think the French should continue to control the place, or the blacks should be in charge?
Yeah. You know what I say? There's a country in Africa called Comoros Islands. All
Yes.
the Africans around are trying to run into there illegally. You should do a show about this. And
Okay.
you know which country is in charge of this country? Is France.
France. Uh-huh.
France is still colonizing Comoros Islands. Now
Yes.
the African countries around it are all trying to rush in there illegally so that they can live the good life.
Which people are running it? What countries mainly is running there?
Okay, people from Madagascar, people from the other
the other French countries.
The other non-French countries are running into Comoros.
Madagascar is French.
Oh, okay, ex-French colonies, yes. But
so other dusties are running there.
Are running to the only country still colonized by France in Africa. Because they know they can live a good life. Whenever the white man rules over a country, they develop it. France
But they did bad in Niger. That's why they don't want them there.
Niger should be proud that the French even colonized them and educated them.
Really?
Before France.
Do you know how poor that country is?
That's because the Nigerians.
The poorest countries in Africa in that they seem they are the French countries.
Right. This is true, but let me give the context.
So you saying what's there for Niger to be proud of France?
Without France, they wouldn't even know what education is. Nigerians wouldn't even know what uranium is without France.
Well, now they they know it because of them. They thank them and they want them gone. Isn't that okay?
What they don't have the technology to mine these uraniums by themselves?
No, they do now. Now they got friends who know about technology. Like Russia knows a lot, so they can do exchange and innovate on learn how it's done. And the French were there. They didn't really teach them anything.
Sometimes maybe the French tried, but the African was so hard-headed that they wouldn't be able to take it in.
Wait. You're pushing the goalpost. So are you trying to make the African lose here? I mean, like they were oppressed.
Okay, Afridamus.
This whole time, right? So you
Right.
said they didn't know about uranium, but now they do. They know where to get the knowledge from. Is that fair enough?
That's fair, but here's a problem. Whether they get rid of France from this uranium is not even possible. You know why?
Why?
The money, the foreign reserve currency of Niger is in French banks. The moment
Yes.
they actually try to tell France, we really won't give you this uranium, France will tell you, okay, your billions of dollars will not be given back to you. It's in French banks.
Well, they are gonna go to war with France, eventually. So respect would be gained because the French are gonna continue to refuse to leave that territory, which eventually, it has to come head to head, right? That's where it's at because the French are to them. If they lose Niger, they lose in big time, and they are willing to go to war. So they would have to go to war, get their asses handed to them like they did in Vietnam, then Niger would be free and independent. France would come to the table and treaties would be signed and Niger's money would be returned.
Yeah, this is only true if they can get a strong partner. You see, America is a good partner for Niger, not Russia. Russia won't be able to do anything. But if America is on Niger's side, and at least with the coup leaders, they've been smart. They haven't kicked America out of their country. They've said
Because
America can keep the base.
No,
Yes.
they want them gone too. America has not. They have not been aggressive. You know why? Because America also did not declare this. They didn't declare a coup there. You know that, right? They did not declare this as a coup. So they are playing it smart, and the coup leaders are also playing it smart. So, it's not like back in the days where, the Africans are in complete darkness and, the deals just on one side. Remember, this game has been going on. This has been played for a long time. So, so many of us are not even in African governments. We've read books, we've seen documentaries, we've seen things, how the game is played. And the playbook is still the same.
Right.
It's not for the French to change. The French, they haven't changed. The Africans are the ones that have changed. You see what's happening here? The military that they've trained to be there to stand for them are the ones that turned against them. So that means African, because the playbook is the same. So the Africans are doing the right thing, which is you don't have to wait for your oppressor to change. You, the oppressed, have to change, and force your oppressor to make changes. This is why France is is caught up in a system right now. Everything they know, they've tried to implement it. They've even tried to use Nigeria's president, Bola Tinubu. They've put pressure on him, but it's not working. And I'm not saying they've given up. The French, they do not give up easily. Look at Haiti, for example. But I would hope that now that more and more Africans understand, there's no excuse to say they don't know the playbook how it used to be. So, we just wait and see. I mean, I would hope they do the right thing, right?
Yes, but the problem is, even with the other coups, Traore actually, there was 2 coups in that country, right? Traore was actually the second coup because he realized the first coup leader was doing nothing.
Right.
So unless the guy is as good as Traore, it seems like he's actually making moves. He's a young leader who actually was a captain at that time. He wasn't even the general, so he took control. Now, these coup leaders, the problem is, how do we know they're not going to be just as corrupt? Maybe he's like, it's my turn.
Yeah, but they've established the French corruption and the president, right? The people, you see, the majority of the country do not want the French there. So whether these people in the future will be corrupt or not, we don't know that. But we do realize that the French are not only corrupt, they are exploitative. Do you know that the French have committed major crimes in that region to maintain it to where it is, to put control over it? Do you know how many people they had to kill? How many leaders? The French themselves, they support coups over there. So like, for example, if these people do not do anything, people say, oh, look at these docile Africans, just letting the French control them, they're in poverty. But when they do something, people start trying to question, what if they become corrupt? What if this? But what if they turn the country into a better place? Because we've had, like, even Sani Abacha from Nigeria, people like to say he's corrupt military leader. But look at Sani Abacha. Go look at the developments he's done in Nigeria. He's built entire city that, Abuja, that happened under his watch. You see,
right?
If you look at the developments that military rulers brought in various African countries, you know, I mean, most of them are impressive. Yes, there was some dusties that came, I agree, but you know, to stabilize even Ghana. Ghana was super corrupt after Kwame Nkrumah. They had to take a military coup to come in and clean up. Gambia, my country, was super corrupt. It had to take a young military guy to come and clean up. Sierra Leone, you know, Liberia, all these places, they were super corrupt. So I don't know, you know, because some of these people because people like to say, let's go vote. But there is constitutional coup d'etat too. Some of these people, it's only 2 terms.
Okay.
And they ignore the will of the people. You know, in Guinea-Conakry, that's what happened. In Ivory Coast, that's what's happening. In Senegal, even though Macky Sall said he's not running. So these leaders that are fighting, they want the invasion, is because they are afraid that they are going to be next, because they know what they did, especially Ouattara in Ivory Coast. They know what they did. They themselves are in there, you know, because of constitutional coup d'etat. That's what they, that's what they committed. You know,
okay, this is a good point.
Yeah, that's what they did.
Okay, yeah, very good point. Okay, so I guess you're right. We don't know what's going to happen yet, but this is the right step forward for African countries.
Yes, at least, you know, we see it, right? So there's going to be so many people who are enlightened. So even with the military, the way they are operating differently than what we were used to with coup d'etats. Remember back in the days when you hear it, within the first few months or weeks, you would hear they would lock people down, take their freedom of speech. But even Niger, they sell out President Bazoum. He's in custody. They allow him to talk freely, to call. He was able to complain that he is being held with not stable electricity, and he's able to only eat rice and noodle, no air condition. So now he's feeling the pain that, you know, majority of the country is feeling.
Right.
So you know, yeah, definitely. So go ahead, Judah, closing statement. Thank you, Kaisorian, for coming. Judah,
yeah, can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear.
Yes, Afidemos. It's very sad, man. Like, I don't know why many Africans are blaming the coup in Niger. Like I said, man, when people are locked in a room and some of them are given space to breathe, they think they have freedom. So when other people realize that that little space is not freedom and they are fighting for it, the other ones in the room say, oh, if you fight for your freedom, you wouldn't eat this kind of food that we get from the white man. You wouldn't drink water. You wouldn't do this. Your economy will crumble when you go outside and fight for yourself. Oh, this and that will happen to you. Oh, this and this is not good. Oh, man, come on, man. Come on, Afridemos. Come on. So you believe the little crumbs, you enjoy the little crumbs. You don't want to get a bigger picture of your freedom. You don't want to enjoy the necessity of life, of building your own economy, that other countries or your people will look onto you and say, yes, we did it. Come on, bro. Come on, man. That's why sometimes I believe that our IQ is as low as a turtle. Go ahead, man.
Judah, are you surprised, you know, that some of these people are expressing the fear? They don't, you know, it's like they say, oh, they're saying, what if these people become corrupt? How come they're not saying, what if they succeed and help their people out?
Right. I mean, look, everyone has their own opinion to the way they say things. For them, I'm just so tired of all this back and forth, you know, these complaints that, you know, I mean, Niger, they are doing what is right for their own people, right? And the uranium is a great thing for them, and they can build whatever they want to build with it. And that's their own. If they cannot do it, they are gonna play with it, then become successful with it. That's just, I'm just tired, man. I'm just, I'm just, go ahead.
And Judah, what do you think about now? You got this European Union, these white people, they want to complain because Bazoum, when they let him have a phone call, he complained. He said he's been mistreated because he's been given nothing but
Fried rice.
dry rice and dry noodles. And the
This is-
electricity is not. So, I mean, is he being mistreated?
No,
He's
no.
he,
How can you say he's
is
mistreated,
he
man?
been mistreated?
Do you know the millions of Nigerians that do not even eat dry rice or have
Thank you.
electricity?
Exactly. That's what I'm thinking.
Come on, man.
Yeah,
And these
because the
other,
dry noodle, at least he can pour hot water on it, because he's technically in prison in his house. So they can. I think the junta, if they are watching, please, when you give him his top ramen, at least give him hot water too, and the dry rice.
yeah, you have people like Zongo that they will say, "Oh, he shouldn't be fit. He should be fit. Good food, man. Come on, these guys have stacked up a lot of money and sent to Europe." And it's a problem that we should believe that they are the ones. Look, most of these guys have been in Europe. They go to Europe for visit. They have seen
Yeah.
how Europe looks like. They come to Africa, they don't follow. Come on, man. Africanos, we sick in the mind, man, to think that we don't have the right to fight for ourselves. It just makes no sense at all. I will never talk to an African that feel like what Niger did was a bad thing. I tell you, it's a problem. I take you one on one. I might even pull you somewhere and just, throw you. But it's it's unfortunate,
So
man. I
Judah,
just
what would you say to about Tinubu being the leader of the coons, the French puppet? How is a Nigeria English speaking country now a French puppet? Nigeria should be taking charge to remove French hegemony in that region so they can
What
step in.
what you fail to understand is Nigeria is the biggest country in Africa that have more French companies than any other French. France has invested a lot of money into Nigeria than French countries in Africa combined. I'm telling you for a reason. When Macron went to Nigeria in I think what year was it? 2018. It was a deal that Macron was talking about, business deal to construct that Nigerian oil, Nigerian
The
Niger
pipe.
oil pipeline. That was one
Yeah.
of the main business deals. That was, of course, because Russian at that time, there was a lot of diminishing return in what was happening in Europe. So they saw Nigerian petroleum as high as it was a gold mine, so they wanted to take some of it. So that the pipeline was on the line. So Macron has more investment in Nigeria, and Nigeria has always been a big economy border to France. So when all these things is happening, Nigeria has a lot of interest. So when they command Nigeria to do certain things, they have to do it. It's not a surprise that Nigeria has been on the wrong side of history. They have sold out Africans, and it's high time other Africans wash their hands from Nigeria. And that's what I would say.
Thank you very much, Judah, for coming in again, and I hope to see you on the next one.
Oh, thanks,
Thank
man.
you.
Appreciate it. And
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was Judah. I want to thank all of you for coming to another edition of Negrology 101, all the way from the Negro factory down in Niger, in West Africa. So as you guys can see clearly, everyone have expressed their viewpoint, but here's my point. The Nigerians, I don't know what's going to happen in the future, but clearly the citizens of that country, they want the French out. I mean, it's just like having a wife. You abuse this wife, and the wife finally found the courage, to leave the abusive husband or boyfriend. She ran away. They put all kind of black eyes on her. Now she got the strength. She's recovering, and then the neighbors and so-called cousins talking about, nah, you gotta go back to that husband. You're like, no, but he is abusive. No.
You got to go there. You don't understand. You do realize this husband, he's been feeding me. He's been giving me some butter biscuits, hot butter biscuits. So therefore, I got to give this man what he wants. This is what Nigeria, Senegal, even my country shamelessly, Gambia, Ghana for sure. And I mean, you guys saw Zongo. He came here. He's representing Nana Akufo. For a minute, I thought Zongo, in fact, he is the press secretary for Nana Akufo or for ECOWAS itself. He did a good job for them. But either way, as you guys can see, Niger, this move here have exposed a whole lot. And it's also, if you look at it, we can see, the holes that we can poke in. We can see the secret operation the French have been running in Africa. Like I'm telling you, this is from 1884. It's just over time, the way they run it, it changes form. When Africans start waking up, seeing the deal, they switch it to something else. But hopefully, within this technology era where all of us, Black people all over the world, we are connected, we're able to see what's happening. I think that's a good thing. And with the Niger too, now they are on the spotlight. We will be watching them too. And the moment this junta also start deviating and, doing funny business, start tap dancing and all that, we would report on them also. We would bring them on the chopping block and call them out. But for now, those of you that are trying to criticize them, talking about, oh, we can't stop eating the white man's food. What we's gonna do when white daddy French leaves? What they gonna do with the uranium? They don't know nothing about uranium. They ain't gonna do nothing. The Africans know nothing about gold. So therefore, why kick the French? Let the French continue to steal this. So I have a different point of view. They have plenty of it, it's in their soil, they have plenty of time to learn how to put it to good use. Guys, don't you agree with that? It's like someone saying, hey, check this out, even though it's your car, but since you don't know how to drive, no need for you to learn how to drive. Just let me continue to drive your car. That's not how it works. Nigerians are going to learn how to, take care of business, and that's where we are. So, ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to the end of today's show. And I'm out. I will see you guys on the next one. Peace.
Baby girl love my bop and I like me too. No roof on my top and my babe see through. Hating on the pen, don't stop, shit ain't gon' feed you. I've been all on my grind, so why I need you? Baby girl love my bop and I like me too. No roof on my top and my babe see through. Hating on the pen, don't stop, shit ain't gon' feed you. I've been all on my grind, so why I need you? Big flex, my swole up. Double cup and I'm pulled up. Niggas hating like hold up. What's the problem? I'm pulled up.